to developing even further. Now, if he takes this 8 damage, he is weak to Atrocity. Doesn't want to take that damage. Because Tryndamere has vulnerable at this point, he's technically able to present lethal by dragging Tryndamere out of the way. Opts not to, instead simply going to play the Talia and try to force FNX Chavez Elite to have more answers than simply something like a Vile Feast. The Talia and try to force multiple spells go onto the stack. Kind of scary for Roji to be looking at right now. Only has the Rite of the Arcane in his hand. Goes for the Withering Wail and the box. Going to be enough here to wipe the board of everything that Grandpa Roji has. But the Rite of the Arcane gonna come through, which means that this unit, this Restored Devout, will come out. Right? It will pop out. His head will be poking out here. And can drag the Tryndamere out of the way. And Chavez Elite proving to be very resilient. This friendly Tavern Keeper actually posing an issue.
Wow, that Tavern Keeper came in so clutch.
Yeah, now this prevents Grandpa Roji from presenting lethal. And what really seemed like a good spot for Grandpa Roji is now looking quite dire. Should we see something like well, Field Rush can't come down next turn, but should we see maybe third Tryndamere come down, that would be quite an issue for Grandpa Roji, having to deal with all that overwhelm damage. And Chavez Elite hanging on for dear life, but hanging on nonetheless.
Yo, we got Mad Rose in the chat. Yo, appreciate you, bro. Telling me to mute the alerts. Yo, I appreciate it. Because I definitely forgot. Oh, that freaking... Wait, did he top deck that?
He may have. It looked weird for just a second. But the Ladros makes Atrocity lethal.
Sure does.
Actually...
Oh, this is lethal.
This is... not quite. Not quite.
Is that 1?
Down to 1. Down to 1. But if one of the final 2 cards is Atrocity, this game could end.
I mean, yeah.
And in fact, Roji is really no route to lethal on the board at this point in time. It'll really kind of depend on his top deck.
Oh.
Rite of the Arcane is decent.
Yeah, yeah, Chavez definitely has Atrocity in him.
We can see it.
Yeah, he has Atrocity. He's had Atrocity in him for a while.
So, unfortunately for Roji here,
yeah,
all the answers were just there. There were kind of 3 or 4 turns back to back where he forced Chavez to have either 1 or 2 answers, and the whole way through. Really unfortunate for Grandpa Roji. That matchup is usually pretty good for Talia Malphite. We're not sure if that is round 1 or 2. Looks like that was game 1, so we'll hop back on in.
Looks like we got Malphite Talia versus Darkness.
Absolutely. So, the Malphite Talia deck against Darkness, I think it's... See, it's hard to say, right? Because if you ask Grandpa Roji, Talia Malphite beats almost everything. And I'm pretty sure he'll tell you it beats Darkness. He generally wants to be good into Darkness, kind of as a rule.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect he brought Malphite, Talia, Pantheon. I don't know what the third deck would be. This should be a matchup that he feels comfortable and confident in. I know he's played it a bunch. and he brings it to tournaments because he thinks it's good, especially into darkness. Now, I'm about to see where this falls in terms of the reality of this situation. Pulls the Dark Bolt Valkyrie out of the way, able to push in 3 damage there. It has to be kind of pleased with the early stage of this game.
Wow, we just slamming down Vega on 4. That's like a wow. Because we already know, like, there's nothing, pretty much nothing that he can do. Oh, he has a, wait, he top decked that? Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
the Arcane goes in and zaps him, especially with only 2 mana remaining. For about something like a missed call, making it revive, but the second focus that comes in going to limit the amount of damage Shava's Elite takes.
Damn, I want to see that deck list that Roji got. How many of those is he playing? He was playing 2, right? Wow.
Roji is on 1 right of the Arcane.
1? Oh, what a
He's on
gamer.
1.
What a gamer. We always top deck right what we need, right?
Absolutely. Speaking of top decking right when we need, he does have the Talia level up into the Salt Spire pop up here.
He sure does.
This is the dream. If you ever played Talia Malphite, you want to be having the empowered Salt Spire and leveling Talia up on turn 5 or 6, especially against decks that run Ruination. You want them to be popping out on your attack tokens so they can't react to them with something like the Ruination.
Yep. 100%.
Should the opponent be running it.
In the hand of Chavs, he definitely does have double mini morph, but to be honest, I think it's kind of clogging his hand right now. Because he doesn't really have any other units other than Ixtali and Senna. Like, Veigar was basically the pillar stone and it instantly died. So now he's kind of on the back foot right now.
Not only that, but he's also having a Ruination, or not a Ruination, a Vengeance in his hand as well. And that Vengeance was buffed, now it only costs 6 mana.
True.
But he really only has the mana to cast 1 thing this turn.
Yep.
So it's a really precarious position, especially when we see things like the Absolver and Ground Slam in the hand. Let's see where the Vengeance goes. The Vengeance going to...
Oh, there's the Absolver. Oh!
He could be rocked there.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was in his hand. Dang.
Yeah, and the red negation enough to push him over the finish line there. I would have to do the math to see if Absolver plus Grand Slam would have been enough damage. I'm inclined to think it would have been.
Yeah, I think so.
But chooses to just go with the right of negation there, and we're gonna go to a game 3 here in our first series.
Wow, that was pretty smooth, honestly, played by Roji. Honestly, he had right negation from the beginning, right? In Mulligan.
Yeah, really kind of clean play here, and he gets the Pantheon Taric matchup.
True.
Oh, sorry, the Pantheon Shyvana. Into
darkness.
Into darkness. Now, this is a matchup he was vehemently defending on stream, while in Discord with like 5 or 6 other players, talking about why he thinks Pantheon Shyvana is so favored in this matchup. So I have to assume when he saw the ban phase come through, he thought this was absolutely perfect, and we'll have to see if he's able to get over the finish line here. The Twisted Catalyzer, kind of the perfect turn 2 for FNX Shava's Elite. He has the Veigar and the Senna in hand. He has to be pretty happy with the way that things are going at this point.
So why, in your opinion, would you say that Roji would say that this is a favorite matchup? I think I'm sorry. I was just trying to explain, because I think any deck that kind of has like a mini morph kind of factor to it kind of counts as Pantheon.
Yep. So it kind of depends on how many they're running, right? If they're running 3 Vengeance and 3 Mini Morph, then maybe it swings back in the favor of Darkness. But essentially the idea is that the threat density, that means the number of cards that are threatening to win the game on their own, are very high in Shyvana Pantheon. Any Pantheon card, any Shyvana card, any Wounded White Flame card, and to a lesser extent, any Screeching Dragon can win the game. Each of these, I believe, are 3-ofs. That means he has 12 cards in his deck that are threatening to win the game. And there are maximum of 6 answers, or I guess 7 if there's a 1 of Ruination. 6 or 7 answers in the deck of Darkness. So it seems that through sheer numbers, the kind of favor goes to the Darkness deck. It's also really hard for Darkness, who's actually doing a very good job in this game here, to have enough damage-based removal to actually kill the dragons. We're seeing here the pump spells making Shyvana survive through 6 spell damage. The 7th spell, the 7th is going to connect. But yeah, we can kind of see how maybe a lesser hand from Chavez and this feels quite a bit worse. But with a Vygar early on, stuck to the board, there have been no strike spells to kind of take care of it, or no like confront or anything to take care of this Vygar. The ramped up Darkness is proving to be quite scary at this point in time.
Wow, I'm really surprised Chavez didn't decide to play Senna there. But I guess he just wanted to develop multiple units this turn. That was probably the thought behind not developing Senna. Because I think we already hand read that Rochi doesn't have any single combat or concerted strike nonsense in his hand, no?
Yeah, I think that would be a pretty good reason. Of course, we have the benefit of like seeing his hand read. It's not easier to hand read when we can see the hand. But yeah, it certainly is a very the wise call, I think, for him to make if he didn't. But yeah, he slams down the Senna now. Senna feels pretty much just as good now as ever. Being able to play the Darkness now on the defensive turn is always nice when playing against a deck like this, especially because this Darkness is already dealing 7 damage.
7 damage.
It's really tough to break through a 7 damage Darkness this early into the game.
Yeah, it's straight up just gonna kill whatever it lands on, honestly. And then we can't forget, remember I said he had 3 Sennas in hand, so now each Senna is a Senna's Dawning Shadows. So whatever he wants to kill, he's killing it.
Yeah, absolutely true. And it's also very likely that Chavez Elite, he could play Stress Defense if he wants. It could make his current Senna alive to keep up that Dawning Shadow if he would like. However, it's up to him. I don't know if I would have done it. Yeah, actually that is better. Yep, that is ideal way to use Stress Defense there. Decides to keep the Senna alive.
I think Roji hushes his... Yep, there it is.
Ooh, kind of a cheeky hush there. Sometimes you want to end up hushing a Senna so she can't play a Darkness in combat. But if you're going to kill Senna, it doesn't really matter if you hush her, right? That's the idea. Of course, he's not the beneficiary of knowing the fact that Chavez Elite has both other Sennas in hand.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way you can play around 2 other Sennas in hand. Like, at this point, you're just like, all right, I guess they have it.
Right, absolutely. I don't know against Pantheon Shyvana if Darkness gets better hands than what they have right now.
Yeah.
The Dawning Shadows essentially function as more vengeance, as well as being able to stick the early Vygar and the early Twisted Catalyzer is a huge benefit for Chavez Ali. And not only that, but like we said, just having the Sennas alone are pretty good for... Did he kill the wrong one? No, he couldn't.
No, he killed the right one.
Yeah, alright.
So top decking Rekindler. Wow.
That's a fourth Senna. For him now. Probably gonna wish he saved that single combat, but I think he's doing this because he smells blood. This should level up Pantheon. It levels up Pantheon, and he has the rally available.
True.
If Pantheon gets Scout, this might get pretty scary.
Scout and Spell Shield. This is looking pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he could get Scout, Spell Shield, and Elusive, and then that's...
Oh, wow, we're
Just
high
insane.
rolling.
What does he get? He gets... So he
Got
got
Scout, but no Spell Shield.
Nothing else is so
Unfortunate.
good. Going with the Scout attack?
Yep, going for the Scout attack here. He does have Barrier, so he is... Oh, just straight up gonna go for the Vengeance. Yeah, I like it. But we do see in the hand of Roji, he does have access to another Pantheon if you would like to play it. Goes for it.
No Scout this time.
No
No
Scout.
Elusive or Spell Shield. He kind of low rolled here.
Yeah, he most definitely low rolled.
Not the best options. And he sees this darkness. This darkness is so scary. The 8 damage darkness. It's so hard to deal with. It's right now. It's starting to deal with both threats that he's kind of targeting. Of course, we see the Senna and the Rekindler available.
You could say I got a life with.
Yeah, if he wanted to play around Senna or Rekindler, he had to preemptively Golden Aegis.
Yeah.
Not to.
Eyes forward.
Wow.
Darkness and light.
Yeah, I think this is over.
Yep, and here we're seeing the pain of not getting Spell Shield.
Yep.
Pantheon falls. I think his best out is drawing Pantheon.
Thank you. Draws a Screeching Dragon there. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But
One mana darkness.
kind of looks dead to me. Probably gonna use darkness on the one or killing these Senna. Single combat kind of beats this darkness, because it kills the Senna anyway.
Yeah. Oh, just going for the kill. Yeah. That does do it. And it saves your other card. Wow. That was really good, to be honest.
Yeah, that's super effective there. You can even Rekindler now if you would like, and he does.
Wow.
He now has
He's in your
access.
He's in your head.
He even has access now to. Does he get 2 darknesses at the same time?
No.
How does this direction work?
No, I don't think he gets 2 darknesses.
All right, Ed. Grandparoji taps out there. GG was kind of close there for a second. Unfortunately for Grandparoji, he didn't win the Pantheon coin flip spell shield, which might have helped out a little bit.
Yeah.
Unclear though how it would have ended up resolving. But GG to FNX Chavez Elite.
I don't think he got spell shield either Pantheon. Like, that was such a low roll. That was actually such a low roll. I mean, of course, Rally wasn't better there. He had to go for second Pantheon, but he just low rolled, which does suck.
You have Maitri added, right?
Yes, I do have my tree added.
All right, I have Monty added.
Copy.
So we're seeing an Ari Kennen mirror match. In the Ari Kennen mirror match, typically conventional wisdom tells us that the go hard variant wins the mirror, which is kind of why it's become so popular. But recently, over the last few days, more and more people are playing the might variant of Ari Kennen, realizing that it still grants overwhelm, but for 1 less mana than the Absolver. So we'll have to see if enough go-hards are able to be drawn to kind of make up for the fact that they're not running this over-the-top style.
So this is a mirror match, like you said. Doesn't the go hard version always beat every other Ari Kennen?
Generally speaking, right, we'd definitely classify it as it being a favored matchup. It's really now going to come down to, can they do the thing? Can they cast enough go hards to really tax the hand and the number of recalls available for the RE Kennen player? Speaking of that, though, this Bayfolk is gonna fall here.
Yeah.
And yeah. Lightning Rush, or Mark of the Storm, sorry, going to take out the Curious Bayfolk.
Oh, Maduel's in the chat confirming Senna only gives you one because it specifically says if you don't have one. Confirmed.
Yeah, and I guess in this game things happen left to right, so that would make sense. If they happen simultaneously, if it checked at the same time, then maybe you get two, but it doesn't. It checks left to right. So yeah, he's absolutely correct. Ari now being threatened by a Mark of the Storm. And in return, Kennen gets marked. So kind of the trading marks here, trading blows. Nothing too incredible going on. We do see the Ari in the hand of Maitri,
I go where the winds blow.
which will enable a second Kennen to be played and even threaten anyway to take out the Ari of Maitri.
Do see a pass here, which is obviously pretty good. He's basically trying to see, like, all right, I see the threat, but I want to know how you're gonna do it.
Yeah, so one of the options would be to kind of concussive palm the Ari preemptively before she can even attack. Or I guess they could do it before the attack resolves, right? That would work too, to prevent the recall of the Kennen, the droplet, or even the Kinku Wayfind that Maitri decides to do. And decides to pass. I kind of like the pass back here. It does burn the mana of Monte Cristo, so it is a efficient pass, kind of neutralizing the mana totals for each player.
But he is taking another 4 damage here if he takes this. So you have to be super careful. Because we are getting to that low health toss. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
In some ways, against RE style decks, taking the damage oftentimes reduces the amount of damage you take. Think for a second here, we could even see something like a Might plus a Twin Disciplines come down and then deny a recall, and that would be, or deny the homecoming, right? I believe that's enough mana. 4 plus 7, 8, 9. Yeah, he'd have exactly enough mana to deny the homecoming and push 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Yeah, that would have been lethal. Of course, we have the benefit of seeing the hands, but he could have mighted plus Twin Disciplines and held up deny there, which would have been kind of sick, forcing Maitri to have multiple answers to what would have been lethal.
So we're going to see the Notify come out here, yep. Goes to make sure he gets that kill.
One of the reasons why the Overwhelm variety of Kennen Ari is pretty good in the mirror is because the 1 mana recall is ineffective against Ari, because she will still strike if she has Overwhelm and you recall the unit. It will strike through, deal damage anyway. So one of the reasons why Ari Kennen is quite favorable.
Mad Will's in the chat saying you haven't lived unless you played the 0 mana darkness. True that. So Homecoming here, definitely trying to stop a lot of this damage. And to be honest, Maichi doesn't really have a good response. Yeah. Not really a good response there.
If the homecoming goes through, kind of no harm, no foul. Monty Cristo just taking a little bit of damage, but nothing really to write home about.
Double pod. Double pod is a little scary, right?
Yeah, it's quite scary. It's because if he takes a slow speed spell, he knows he's getting go hards. And all the go hard Kenanari version really wants to do is be drawing these here, eventually packing the bags and wiping of Kenanari. And this is the inevitability that I believe Maitri has in his favor. So I think Monty's gonna have to try and find kind of this this power play turn where he's able to deal a bunch of damage at a relatively low kind of mana expenditure, and then beat whatever answer that Maitri has before Maitri eventually plays so many pack your bags that it's kind of a moot point.
I mean, it's gonna at that point it's gonna be deny or bust, right? Yeah, pod is 10 damage.
Alright, so we have a Navori Conspirator, which is kind of nice. The Navori Conspirator, of course, can recall cannon, makes the summon better, so we can end up stunning 2 things, plus play the Might, and level up Ari while he's at it. So he's still threatening quite a bit of damage because of this Might. The Overwhelm is very, very good when combined with these stun effects, and the recall effect doesn't help Maitri because he can't shadow block the
Might.
The Might.
Wow. Drawing double homecoming here is actually amazing.
Looking for a daring escape.
Yeah, that second homecoming can just lift the Ari as soon as she initiates the attack, and then from there, there's not going to be enough mana available for Cristo to deny one of them, or either of them really, and threaten damage at the same time. So we'll have to see how Monty wants to commit his mana and how much Maitri can get Monty to commit before he stops this incoming attack.
And then also you have to take into consideration that if he does use this deny here, then bells are ringing in Maitri's head, right? That now he doesn't have deny. So now I can clearly know that I can cleanly go for this pack your bags, and there's nothing he can do.
So by stunning this scattered pod, he's kind of representing that he doesn't have Might in his hand, because Might would make that stun obsolete. So maybe a bluff coming in here, and maybe, just maybe, that will convince Maitri to tap out of mana beneath the homecoming, but decides not to. And will be attacking here. Right now he's representing 12 damage should he order this attack. Very patient here. Doesn't want to waste the Might if it would just be homecoming away anyway.
So was that a misplay by Maitri? Because he tapped out of double homecoming.
He did tap out of double homecoming, but he only needs the first one to stick, because there is no Might plus deny available for Monte Cristo.
True.
So if the first one gets denied, it's no big deal because lethal isn't presented.
So to this we just say, yeah, you're right. To this we just say, okay. Like, all right, got it.
Monty's going to decide to Might here. Makes him say, have homecoming or die.
Yep.
Now there is homecoming for Maitri. So we'll very likely see Ari getting homecoming tier, preventing All but 3 damage. Or Maitri.
And we can develop Ari after this. This is pretty good. Double Ari in the hand of Maitri. And yes, Mad Wheels, I haven't eaten dinner, so I have to eat.
Wild hearts should run free. Here I am.
I'm not gonna lie to you, this is kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 scattered pods and to pack your bags, you know, in the hand of Maitri. Not only that, but Maitri has now another homecoming, a 3rd homecoming available. He has all the answers that he could possibly, you know, even want to have in his hand. And I think it's why I mentioned inevitability earlier. And of course, I do have the benefit of seeing Maitri's hand, but I think if you're playing the Might version, you try to force the Go Hard variant to have the answers early as possible in the game, especially if you need to force them to have 2 answers on the same turn. I believe, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'll have to recap and watch it back, but I believe that he could have presented lethal with Might plus a Mark of the Storm or a stun spell and hold up deny as well for the homecoming, should Maitri have had one. But that seems to be kind of a moot point here. He could end up just kind of blocking down. He doesn't even need to lift this Ari if he doesn't want to, because he knows Monty is on hand.
You cannot escape.
And he goes from an empty hand to a full hand pretty quickly. When Ari recalls all of these. Of course, the outcome of this attack. Oh, okay. Maitri's kind of BMing a little bit. I was gonna say the outcome of this attack actually doesn't matter. Because Maitri has to pack your backs.
Yeah, he has
hand.
pack in hand. He has double. He has another homecoming. Like, yeah, this is. I think, yeah, we just tap out. Like, we just got out resource because double pod. I mean, triple pod. What am I talking about? Yeah, triple pod on board. Like, so many resources. Metal was saying that's what breaks for. We rarely. I mean, that's one thing that I was looking at maybe changing, but we rarely even take breaks because we don't have a need to. Like this tournament is just rolling. We don't need to take any breaks. Like it's just
this tournament's way too short to be taking a break. Like
yeah.
we're gonna take a break. We're not just kind of have the tournament. Like you can't cast for 3 hours. Like what are you doing? Let's see. Is that the end of that set? Monte Cristo.
I think so.
Looks like the end of that set. So Maitri will be facing off against in their next matchup. But for now, why don't we go ahead and hop in to the game?
Do you have Kevin Elawar added?
I do, but it says they're just online right now.
Oh yeah, on Hinge says the same thing.
Yep. What about? Let's see. Trying to find a game here. Do you have Henry or Eluard?
Oh yes, I have Eluard.
Alright, I got Henry.
Copy.
All right, Henry playing Iceborne Spiders. I think it's quite the spicy deck. And and Edward on TK
Oh,
Rocka.
TK Rocka. That's smart, honestly.
I feel like my intuition is telling me that TK Rocka destroys Iceborne Spiders.
It does.
That's what my gut is saying. But we don't see Star Spring on the field. So the kind of a win con isn't being progressed, and we don't see one in hand for. These two things might make it so that the kind of late game power of insanely strong spiders can come online for Henry before the Star Spring can win. But with that being said, Tahm Kench is no slouch, and will be a constant threat to kind of take control of the game, all on his own.
He'll just keep eating the spiders, and then Soraka is just here to heal. Like, man, this is actually a really, really bad matchup, to be honest. Oh wow,
Yeah,
Ken's leveling here. Wow.
Yeah, I'm inclined to believe that it is a pretty bad matchup for Iceborne Spiders. Edward bringing the Tahm Kench, Soraka, Spice, and I'm thinking it might just pay off for him. Levels to Tahm Kench quite early on into the game, and other than Trundle, and even Trundle doesn't really threaten Tahm Kench at this point.
Nope.
So yeah, looking good for Edward if he can ever find a Star Spring.
So these spiders for us are just food. Like, they're literally just food.
Yep,
Wow.
just Tahm Kench food. I'm not sure how I feel about using the Tahm Kench spell there, with knowing that like Trundle or Elise could be played, but decides to go for it anyway. And yeah, no real response. And unfortunately, I think these two decks just look at each other until one of them just draws enough of their win. Whether we see a Star Spring come out eventually to win the game, or we see just some giant spiders that, get +6/+6 because Henry draws all the Iceborne Legacy.
Literally. I have no idea how realistic that is when Tahm Kench is a freaking 4/11.
Yeah, important to note that Vengeance kills you no matter how much mana or how much health you have. If you don't have the spell shield. So Henry forcing him to have the spell shield. Bastion, low odds play here. Usually it's a 1-2-0. Hits a Crusty Codger. Still hasn't hit the all important Star Spring.
Star Spring, yeah. Oh, Madu was saying Ari's champ spell is so good. It wouldn't be needed this game. But that's such a good card. Imagine if it was burst. Nah, it couldn't be burst. That card is way too good. It could not be burst.
So kind of quietly here, Edward has built a 12/7 Far Shepherd. That
definitely has.
alone is kind of threatening the board, quite significantly. It essentially says kill unit each turn, because just of the level of threat that it yields to.
Wow.
The Nexus health for Henry. Edward cannot draw a Star Spring to save his life. He's almost halfway through the deck. Still no Star Spring in sight.
Oh, we have second Kench though.
Second Tahm Kench is nice. We might just see a Frostbite here on the 8/7.
18/7.
True.
That is lethal. Kind of forced into it.
Yeah, this Star Shepherd is one of the few units that you can't actually hush to remove the frostbite. Because if you try and hush it, it will, of course, go back down to a 0. So don't try and hush your Star Shepherd to remove the frostbite. It won't actually work.
There's the Bastion he was looking for.
Yep, there's the Bastion. Still no Star Spring in sight. But despite this, Edelward's still in a dominating position. We kind of identified towards the beginning of the game that it seems like it would be a favored matchup for Star Spring. And even without the Star Spring, it looks pretty favored at this point in time.
Excuse me. Leveling up Trundle here. This level up animation is really cool. Cool. That is a really cool level of animation.
Yeah, quite nice there. This Trundle just gets eaten. It is now Trundle food. Or, sorry, Tom Kench food.
Oh, you must be going for Three Sisters. Oh, Entomb. Ooh.
Going for the Entomb. Now, this could get
Bastion. Oh, but he has the young Val Feast in hand. Coming in hot. Oh,
Decided to go with the Withering Whale instead of the Val Feast. Generally, against Star Spring, you would damage everything like that, but it does give him a big attack on the 2-1 should he... Actually, he can't do that. He can threaten to kill the 8-6. Opts not to.
Where is Star Spring? I know Edelward is saying that in his head right now. He's like, is Star Spring even in my deck?
Yeah, at this point, we have to ask, like, did he forget to put it in? When he was building it, did he just forget the win con? Because it's nowhere to be seen. We see a second Bastion draw from the Soraka.
I mean, to be honest, though, he is slowly beating him down, though. Like, he is very, very slowly beating him down.
You're not incorrect. You are absolutely true. Slowly, the health total of Henry is whittling down. And even his ability to generate spiders is now pretty much reliant on release at this point. Likely, we'll see this Iceborne Legacy come down this turn, just to kind of establish it onto the spider. It would be kind of cute on the pillar. I think that's funny. Probably not good, but it's funny. Tom Kench comes back from his icy...
There it is! There it is! You drew the win con. It's in our deck, confirmed. I was just about to say that. I'm like, I feel like we're supposed to hush.
Yeah, especially because the health now of the Star Shepherd is gigantic, and when Soraka heals at the full, that's gonna be like 13 points of healing there or something like that alone, because it has +8.
You know what I thought? You know what I thought Henry was about to do? I thought he was gonna atrocity the Elise into the 22-1 because it has a lot of health actually. Look how much health it has.
30-11. It's a 30-11. Someone put Might in Edelward's deck and see how this game is.
Wow. Alright, so this game is coming to a close. Now that he drew Star Spring for sure.
Yep, just needs some damage to go onto his units, and eventually it feels like he will get there. Tom Kench can be taking 4 damage. Glimpse Beyond's kind of nice.
Going for the glimpse there.
Of course, that means that Tom Kench won't be taking that damage, which is kind of the key idea at this point.
Manuel saying Tom Soraka is its own it's on the beatdown plan. It was for a little bit. 2 damage here, 3 damage here, you know. Bring them down to 9 on turn 10. We'll get there eventually. Don't worry about it.
And now Henry's trying to find a way out. So, like, he could Atrocity, he could block and then Atrocity a unit to make Eduard's units take less damage.
Mm-hmm. No, we're just choosing to tap out here.
Alright, and now this will bring the Star Spring up to 21 at round end. But we have Soraka's Wish in hand, and once that gets... I think that will just be the end of the game. There really shouldn't be anything that Henry can do about the Wish at this point in time.
I mean, he could Atrocity, right? He could Atrocity his Nexus. That is a way to leave the game.
You're right. He could Atrocity his own Nexus and then not lose the Star Spring. That is absolutely, you know, that is probably the best line at this point in time, where you're just Atrocity your own unit. That's pretty sick.
Hitting him with the Bastion.
Yeah, the Bastion now is just going to kill Elise here for free. And Soraka's Wish is just going to go ahead and end the game.
Yep. Soraka's Wish ending the game here. GG's. LOR always showing sportsmanship.
Alright, now that was a really long game. Of course, we're not sure if that was game 1 or game 2 or game 3. However, we'll find out in a moment as always. Looks like they're still in the game. Oh no, sorry, it ended. Eduard is victorious, is moving on to the next round.
Alright, sounds good. Let me see. I just want to know if Unhinged moves on, because I want to cast this game. Like, come on, my guy, you have to win.
He's not online. He is not online, as far as I can tell. So I'm going to assume that it did not go well for him there. Now, let's see.
Oh, we got wait, is that? Yeah, we got Maitri and Doo.
Sure.
I got Maitri. You got Nunu?
Yep.
I got me.
Alright, Maitri playing Darkness against the Mono Ari. No splash. Choosing to not risk missing Allegiance at all. The sunk cost variant of Ari recently hit rank 1. Kind of proving the point that the raid deck is insane.
Yep.
Even without the splashes. So with that being said, Nunu perhaps thinking, well, if the splash isn't so important, maybe it just won't splash at all, meaning that they can simply
never miss Allegiance.
never miss. Exactly, they never miss Allegiance, and they get to feel good about it.
Honestly.
Going for this group shot here, pretty good.
Yep, very likely to be notified. Instead, going with the Twin Dispense.
Going for the
going
twin.
to save the Notify, perhaps for Darkness at a later point. Darkness is one of the decks that's kind of been, I won't say counter to Ari Cannon, but a deck that doesn't really mind facing Ari. It's usually a 50-50 or so matchup, which makes it much more palatable ban many decks if you're not going in with the idea of I'm going to ban the Kananari deck. So with this kind of in mind, Maitri knew when he brought Darkness that they're likely going to be playing against Kananari and not banning it.
Oh wow, those Darknesses now are 1 mana.
Yeah, 1 mana Darkness, and even there's kind of an interesting line that likely won't occur, but it could occur, in which Maitri allows a Stilted Roadmaker to die and then miscall it. And after you miscall it, then it becomes a free Darkness. And that would be cool if he could get the 3rd Stilted Roadmaker down. But likely going to save that miscall for a more important unit, maybe a Vygar, maybe a Senna.
So it looks like we're setting up Homecoming here.
Yep. Homecoming coming through prevents the strike from the Twisted Catalyzer, which is ever important. But he's sending a Stilted Roadmaker back to hand.
Oh,
That means he can play it.
That means he can play it.
That means it's a free Darkness.
Oh wow.
A free Darkness is going to be, raining down on. As soon as this Stilted Roadmaker hits the field, all the Darkness for the rest of the game will be absolutely free.
Which is obviously insane.
Guess I'm the big guns now.
Oh, well, Maitri said all I need is 1 mana Darknesses, actually. Thank you very much.
Yeah, a 1 mana Darkness, and with that, it's going to start taxing the both the mana and the card that Dudu has. With these 1 mana Darkness constantly raining Dudu, he's got to be very specific about how and when he saves his units from it, because the Darknesses will be generated nearly every single turn.
Yep. I mean, in the hand of Maitri, we still see a Dark Bulb Acolyte and an Ixtali Sentinel. So we see ways to definitely produce these Darknesses on top of Senna also being on the board. So Darkness is definitely gonna be zapping a few things that are on the board. So I guess Dununu probably decided that he had to get more damage in, because now he's kind of under pressure, because these Darknesses are about to be 0 mana. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. He is pushing quite a bit of damage. We could predict that the Ahri is likely just going to be shot by the Darkness.
Yep.
That's still 3, 4, 5, 7 damage going to Maitri, which is not nothing.
So Maitri deciding to just stop some of this elusive damage, which is obvious, which is another response for sure. But
and this is also better into recall, which we see here, and because Dudu hovered it, Maitri now knows that recall is Dudu. So the Darkness onto the elusive does prevent the damage. And I think if you're just going to hover the recall like that anyway, you're supposed to attack with Ahri, because then he's incentivized to play the thing onto Ahri, and then you get 2 more damage in anyway. But kind of a nifty line there, playing Darkness not on Ahri, but on one of the elusives. One kind of core concept, I think, of Legends of Runeterra, other than identifying your win con, is identifying your lose con. How do you lose the game? Well, from this point, I think that's simply Dudu getting a combo turn off when you don't expect it. With that being said, maybe I would favor playing out an Ixtali Sentinel, try and get some HP back. Although with cards like Concussive Palm and Homecomings, and other recall spells, perhaps you can't readily expect to get the lifesteal from the Ishali Sentinel. So the Stilted Roadmaker coming down, and now the Darknesses are officially free.
Night protects the huntress.
So Darkness is actually dealing 4 damage at all times.
You have chosen
So
your path. Promise it won't cross.
we have to somehow dodge Darkness while also being able to put on enough damage to hit lethal next turn. So Nopify hitting this Darkness here.
Yeah, and things are kind of working out for all things considered, because Ari is now leveled and he has a fully wide board of elusives. So Ari alone is threatening an incredible amount of damage, and actually Maitri has nothing in his hand that can generate darkness before the open attack comes off. So it really comes down to the top deck whether or not he has an answer.
I mean, we can also see Dunu's hand. He does have deny. So I think whatever like crazy lines that Maitri might be going for here, and Dunu could just say no. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, okay. So he had the Val Feast there, because if he presses okay, then he just dies. So I'm guessing he's deciding if he wants to deny this or decide what exactly he wants to do from here.
Yep, and once this is denied,
denied,
Maitri's actually out of answers. Just like that, what seemed like a kind of a doomed game for Dunu. He pulls it out, plays very, very well in the last half of this game. Maitri wasn't able to make enough darkness to actually take down the Ari. And there he takes it. We see the strength of Ken and Ari yet again.
Never out.
Yep, for sure. I mean, also in the hand of Nunu there, they still had Twin Discipline. They still had double Twin Discipline. So even if Ari would have gotten targeted by like a darkness, they could have easily saved Ari there. So they weren't in trouble, to be honest. They weren't in trouble.
Yep. It looks like Dudu is victorious here. How about we hop into the Kevin versus Unhinged game? It looks like they're in game right now.
All right.
I got Kevin.
I got Unhinged. Got Unhinged, bro. Yo, where he at? Oh, there he is. All right. I scroll all the way to the bottom. I'm about to say, I'm like, wait, he had a game already? No, I gotta hype him up.
So, Unhinged playing some Draven Rumble with Scion as a bit of a top end there. So maybe a little extra juice at the back end of the game. And Kevin is going for the Yordles in Arms version of Lulu Fizz. A solid deck. I think it's quite strong. And it can sometimes just kind of get you on turn 5 by going wide, but you see a triple Bomber Twins hand, which is generally not what you want to see, and Unhinged coming in with the damage.
Yeah.
I should make a speech. Where's my speech?
Ooh, wow. I'm very surprised Unhinged decided to go for that Mystic Shot there. Especially after the nerfs to Mare. Like, don't we kind of want that Mystic Shot for burn?
It's very tricky. I think I could see it going in either direction because the Mare does still provide value over time. But Lulu Fizz doesn't heal. I think this is a situation in which Unhinged was just identifying his lose condition, which is Kevin gets a wide board, casts Yordle in Arms, and all of a sudden kills Unhinged. So
True.
by killing the Mare there, that prevents that from happening, perhaps a turn earlier than it otherwise would. And instead, he can now develop, his own wide and scary board with these fearsomes.
That's true. So we see this Kato here come down. It is threatening a whole buttload of damage right now.
Oh yeah, Kato is scary. Kato is one of those units that every once in a while, like I think generally Kato's not a good, but every once in a while he hits the board and all of a sudden the opponent's just like, I can't deal with this. I guess I'm dead now. And this is kind of feeling like one of those situations because Kato himself is pushing a lot of damage, and of course he grants Overwhelm to whatever goes unblocked. I actually like giving, especially if Kevin isn't on Pokestick, but I like giving the Overwhelm 5-1, makes the 5-1 a threat in and of itself. The whole board getting traded down, pretty solid. And Kevin is now down to 6 HP, just like that.
I mean, we also have to look at the hand of Unhinged and say, wow, he has a second KO, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
not only a
insane.
second Kato, but things like the Ballistic Bot and the Poro Cannon work very well in chipping down the last few points of damage. Really, Unhinged's kind of job is to not die on this turn and see if he can spot lethal on his next
On this
attack.
next turn. Yeah, for sure.
Are you ready? Let's take it for a spin.
Alright, there's never a world where Unhinged should block here.
Wow. He decided to block?
I don't think blocking is ever good here. I mean, he can redevelop. It might not end up, right?
Okay.
Because you could just redevelop the Poros. It doesn't really matter. But generally speaking,
Yeah, I don't
blocking
think.
there is not great.
Yeah,
but
I don't think
it doesn't really
blocking
matter in that
there.
situation.
Yeah, I don't think blocking there was that good. But he still was gonna be able to develop the Kato next turn and push as much damage as he needed to. So it was gonna, honestly, I think the outcome was gonna be the same either way.
Yep. So looks like they're now heading into game 2.
Game 2 coming on board. All right. Is this Yetis or is this some Ash?
This is Ash Trundle.
Ash
This is
Trundle.
This, as far as I know, is an Unhinged original.
Okay.
It is a Yeti deck, as far as I could tell based off of the screen caps he's put on Twitter. And I believe it plays to try and have a unreasonably large Trundle with an Omen Hawk aberration in it. It's kind of cool. But Ash decks generally run into a few weaknesses, and that is Swarm, right? Ashnox died the minute Vandal City came out because of how well Vandal City can swarm the board. So
is true.
Frostbite's typically not good into that kind of thing. So we'll have to see how this pans out over the next few minutes.
See the Omen Hog drone.
Yeah, we see the Omen Hawk. Unhinged, we probably hoping that hits Trundle.
That's not a Trundle.
Yep, friendly Tavern Keeper gonna heal up Unhinged to full. And the Lulu hits the board now. And with the Lulu... Oh, I spectated the wrong person. And with the Lulu on the field...
Oh, Trundle definitely getting one of those Omen Hawk buffs. So now Trundle is a 5/7, by the way. That is some big stats.
Yeah, I mean, a 5/7 Trundle is nothing to scoff at all. I mean, that's a big boy, especially when he levels up. He could be gaining more and more attack as time kind of goes on. Not only that, but with the rally guy, the incisive tactician, that can also help push this style deck over the finish line. Both with Overwhelm and with Ash's effect, that limits the amount of blocking that Kevin would be able to do. Now, Kevin's deck it's pretty linear. It wants this wide board. It wants to cast your arms to win. So we'll have to see if Unhinged is able to win kind of on time. Yep, and we're seeing this kind of swarm come through the Troll Chant as well to have Ash take as damage as possible. They technically could have Troll Chanted differently to take less damage or to preserve a second unit. But alas, does not go that route, and instead is going to open attack here with Ash, take some damage. Sorry, I'm a little behind, I'm catching up. Trundle gets developed.
Yep, Trundle gets developed.
Not sure why you open attack there, but okay. Yordle and Arms coming in. Oh man. There's double Frostbite though.
Yeah, you do have double Frostbite, but this is a 6 wide board. This is very, very scary. These are the things that we are trying to avoid. Is all this swarm and us either A, losing our units, or B, literally not being able to block because all our units died.
Yeah, so I think he's just dead. Like, he could double Frostbite the Elusives and then block the 7/6, and then he goes down to 11, but then he's well, so he's out of units and not really having a way to kind of win from here. So it looks like the Vandal City Swarm proving to be a bit too much. It's a double Frostbite on the Elusive still works, and he can still survive and retain the Trundle.
I think he's trying to do some adding and subtracting to see if Troll Chant could save him, but no, Troll Chant cannot save him, man. He needs to double Frostbite. Yep. Goes for the double Frostbite. Ash, unfortunately, dying.
Man, how good would an Avalanche be?
That is not Avalanche. But we do see a rally in the hand of Unhinged.
Yeah, unfortunately, even with the rally, he can't quite get over the finish line. He just doesn't have the, the overwhelm keyword. He can't get through the infinite amount of units that the Vandal City deck is able to play.
Yep, that's true. And then we do see in the hand of Kevin, he does have another Yordle and Arms, by the way. So, it's not over. Unhinged is probably thinking in his head like, alright, I made it through the first one. Hopefully that's the only one. But we're about to establish a 6 wide board again. And then Yordles and Arms again next turn. So.
And not only that, but he has 4 elusive damage plus the Fizz just showing on the board. So right there, assuming no response, Hinge, first we do Chant, and the Yordles in Arms coming through. There is card draw available at this point. Could draw a few cards instead. Taps out, says GG, knowing that he doesn't check that he could play at fast speed there on that mana point. So ends the game, and we're gonna go to game 3.
To be honest, that deck, honestly, that deck is not far off. It's just really bad against, it's really bad against Vandal City. I mean, I don't know what other decks Kevin brought, but that most definitely would have been my ban if I have Ash mid range in my lineup for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really tough to for Ash to exist in a meta where Vandal City is played.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but this matchup, this should be Pantheon. Let me just double check here.
Yep.
Pantheon Taric.
So looks like Pantheon Taric. Yep.
Ash is good against Pantheon. Traditional Ashnok has something like a 75% win rate, if not better, against Pantheon.
Wow.
Now, I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Unhinged does not play traditional decks. He puts the cards that he thinks are good in. He thinks he plays what he likes. So it might just be a different version that maybe loses some points to Pantheon Taric. Of course, we won't know until we see this game play on out.
You're covered.
I think he's gonna go for the Culling Strike. Oh wow, goes for the Culling Strike immediately. Not dealing with this unit at all.
Honor guide me.
Can you move your mouse?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Thanks. So the reason why you have to play the Culling Strike there is because over time the Saga Seeker will just get bigger and bigger, and in fact all of the threats in Kevin's deck just get bigger and bigger. It's really the only time he'll be able to play that card, so it's worthwhile to just get the most value out of it as soon as possible. Speaking of getting value, he could play his 3-mana Aberosan Trapper, trying to get a Yeti in his deck. Playing on curve, it's pretty solid, and kind of puts the ball into Kevin's court for how he will respond at this point.
Oh wow, drawing the Yeti here. Okay, game.
Yeah, he gets the Yeti off the top, but perhaps more importantly, Kevin gets the Taric off the top, and because he banked all 3 mana this turn, he can play Zenith Blade onto and give it to the 3/2, making a 4/5 overwhelm.
All the world on one arrow.
She's gonna go for Ash here.
Yeah, and with the Ash development, the Zenith Blade play would be unstoppable, I suppose. Instead, Kevin just going for the attack, saving the Zenith Blade, perhaps to be put on a Wounded White Flame later on, or perhaps as a different Saga Seeker. But I think overall, Unhinged has to be pretty happy with what he's seeing at this point, except for the single combat. Pretty brutal. Although it's kind of mana neutral, he spent 4 mana to kill 4 mana card effectively. So kind of solid. Unhinged now, able to develop his 3/3. Now is the time where he might get a bit of a wide board. Able to play Ash out as well, effectively negating the blocking ability for the Taric, although it will get the barrier. The barrier, of course, making it able to block. Can't hit back, but it won't be taking damage either.
Surprised that Unhinged didn't decide to play Trundle this turn. Because Trundle, especially with his new buffs, he's like a rock now, right? Like he can basically just like literally attack and not be afraid of basically any threats.
Yeah, and unfortunately here, we're going to see Ash fall. Very likely we see the 3/2 block Ash, and this is going to be the second Ash of the game that's killed. So the win con for Unhinged is definitely going to move away from the Frostbite game plan. You can't expect to be drawing your 3rd Ash before Taric is going to be rallying kind of through the game. So there has to be some alternate way to win. And there actually is an alternate win con in the hand of Unhinged, and that is simply Captain Farron. Captain Farron's been the way that games have ended for, I guess, like the first year or so of Legends of Runeterra. The premier finisher before, you know, more and more cards came out, and he's found metas and then phased out of others. But Captain Farron going to likely be the way that Kevin wants to win, or not Kevin, Unhinged wants to win at this point. And for Kevin's hand kind of bricked, no units to speak of in his hand. He could play Crescendum to summon a Mountain Goat, but that doesn't sound too appealing. that's typically going to be saved for something like an Infernum or a Severum for the healing, because it gets copied with Tarek.
So now we're one turn away from this Farron, right? Deciding to develop Trundle here. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Trundle's solid. Unfortunately for Unhinged, Pantheon's a really good blocker on the turn that he's played because he's a barrier. And we see the Golden Aegis in the hand of Kevin. This is going to be a super strong kind of maneuver here coming out from him, because it can guarantee a few attacks this turn, and not only a few attacks, but it's going to we're going to see Pantheon sub up animation here, and the keywords are raining down upon him.
Yeah, we're actually gonna see the combo here.
Yep,
The
and
Tarek rally with we have elusive. Wait,
We
is
have
that
elusive.
that's lethal.
Yeah, this is absolutely lethal. Pretty unfortunate for Unhinged. The combo does go off just in the nick of time.
Yeah. Wow.
And GG, Kevin gonna take it.
I think it was that attack with Ash. He probably should have held it back just a little bit. Because it would have allowed him to threaten the Tarek and even the Pantheon when it came on board more. But honestly, all in all, that deck was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think even earlier than in that, frostbiting the Tarek, when Tarek was, I think, the only unit on the, with the flash freeze, wasn't super great. Ideally, you would save it for a turn like that. You save it for when the rally's committed.
True.
And then you just flash freeze it, and then, you know, the main threat, the rally's gone, and then you drag out the game. But with that being said, well played for Kevin and Unhinged there. Kevin going to be moving on to the next round. I have Eluard. Do you have Chavez Elite?
I believe I do. Yeah, I have Chavez. One second. Loading in here.
So Eduard on Star Spring again. Unfortunately, because of the way the spectate works, we can't see how close this Star Spring is, but it ultimately doesn't even matter because of the aftershock that we just saw. The vengeance even coming through, going to threaten the Star Child, the Star Shepherd, excuse me.
I feel better when you feel better. Ouch!
And we see the fearsome keyword really showing its strength against Star Spring. I remember almost a year ago now, when fearsomes were kind of sitting atop the meta, it loved when you'd match up with Star Spring, because Star Spring just doesn't really run any natural fearsome blockers. In open attack here would threaten lethal. The Tom Kench development doesn't help it out any.
Nope. The Tom Kench development does not help at all, to be honest. Because Tom Kench is not a fearsome blocker.
Yeah, and even the Magnum Opus coming through might slay a few units, might deal some damage, and really kind of push FNX Chavez over the line.
Oh, wow. Getting exactly 3. Wow, that's the game. Yep, that is the game. Wow.
Yep. Absolutely. Kind of a very good matchup for FNX Chavez Elite there. The Fearsomes versus Star Spring, kind of classic counter. Very, very difficult for the Star Spring player to establish any sort of control over that game, especially without a leveled Tom Kench.
Wow, that was insane. Actually, I know we caught the tail end of that one, but I'm sure it went along the lines of just like the Elise deck basically just killing all the threats, and then after, like we saw when we came in, Aftershock dealing with the landmark, and then being able to close it out with the Fearsomes just getting face damage. It's just that's just a really bad matchup.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, and it looks like that is actually the end of that series. Eluar defeated by FNX Chavez.
Oh wow.
Alright, so let's refresh my bracket here.
Okay, so we're going into semifinals. I think I have
Black Sparrow.
let me see. I might have them. No, I do not. I do not have Black Sparrow.
I'll try not them. Because I don't have anyone else either.
I have. Do you have Kevin?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh, do you have the...
They're not. Yeah, I have the other person. They're not, but they're not in game though.
Okay.
I just checked. So I'm gonna try to add Defense War. I'm gonna try to add them.
All right.
That's actually funny. Their tag is bro. That's actually funny.
It's also BR0 instead of BR1, so it's like a double entendre.
That's
Big
funny.
fan of these double meaning things. All right, looks like Black Sparrow and Defense War also aren't in game. Waiting on players to,
Oh yeah,
you know, find each other.
yeah, they're not in game yet.
It's gonna be nice. We'll be able to watch a series from the onset. While we're waiting, I'll go and maybe look at the decks of Defense War. These people putting in codes instead of links. Yeah, I hate to see it. There is a bot. I need to ask someone if I could like have the bot that does it. But there's a bot somewhere that just converts them to
Dex, right?
yeah, converts the deck code to Mobalytics links, like automatically. I need to ask around to see where that is, but they are in game now, so we'll begin our spectate section. They're likely going through the ban phase, so it'll likely be a minute or so before we're able to get started.
Yep, for sure. Who do you have?
Black Sparrow.
Black Sparrow. Alright, copy.
All right, very good. You know what we haven't seen so far today?
Or
Poros.
that's true. We've seen a good amount of Ari Kennen, but we haven't seen any Poros today. Wait, is that Lee Sin?
Yeah, Lee Sin coming out here.
Lee Sin versus Darkness. Okay. I'm gonna tell you from my experience, and I'm gonna tell you what the stats say. In my experience, yo, I never troll mini morph against Lee Sin.
Well, Black Sparrow drawing it in his opening hand.
Wow.
So he doesn't have to worry about it. Yeah, Dark. Very favorite.
Silly.
Darkness, almost the rise of Darkness, as it relates to Ari Kennen. Plus, Ari Kennen being very good against Lee Sin has really pushed Lee Sin kind of to the fringe of the meta. It's starting to come back now as Lee Sin's okay against the decks that are hard targeting Ari Kennen. So Lee Sin kind of making its way back up.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Nah, Eluar, don't worry about it. You tried your best. That's what matters, bro. That's what matters. We honestly, me and Doey walked in and we saw Aftershock and we were like, oh no, something went wrong here. We were like, damn.
Yep. So the Wounded White Flame coming down. When Wounded White Flame was released, it got slotted into Lee Sin. People were like, "Wow, this card's kind of nuts," and it is a very fits the Zoe Lee Sin deck nearly perfectly, because it's yet another deck or another threat that the opponent has to respond to. Despair going to be the tech of choice to destroy the Wounded White Flame.
Just immediately saying, alright, you know what? I see you're going to attack me for 2 next turn, so I'll just take that turn this turn to get rid of your unit. Black Sparrow doing Defense War a little cheeky. I see what you're doing there. So we got Charger, Serpent, and Trickster. He ends up taking the Trickster there. Eye of the Dragon being played. A lot of people wanted this card to get touched. I'm happy it didn't, honestly.
Yeah, with Lee Sin kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit, people maybe are unjustified in wanting to get touched. It's just been dodging nerfs forever, and it's been a core card for quite some time. But it did evade the nerf, and we're seeing it here, and it's still a good card. It's a strong card, and I'm sure that Defense War is certainly happy to have at least a hand. Should this one be killed? Now, all of this is nice, but Defense War does have the problem of not having Lee Sin yet. Sometimes Lee Sin goes AFK, and against Darkness, you have to definitely rely on having at least 2 Lee Sins because of the ability for Darkness to play Minimorph. Now, looking at Black Sparrow's hand, there are 2 Minimorphs.
Wow.
So again, this matchup it's just really hard for Lee Sin to find its way through. But Defense War has made it this far in the tournament because he's a good player. So we'll have to see how he chooses to navigate the situation.
Yep, for sure. Oh, Elowar says, you guys were watching, but you missed my Thralls versus Darkness match where I drew all Thralls, but 0 advances. Shaking my head. I didn't want to see that.
Yeah, glad we missed that one.
That just feels bad. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I hate to see matchups where the both players don't get to play the game.
Right. So we see the Go Hard cast onto the Dragonling, which means that if Defense War wants to block the Twisted Catalyzer, he will have to do it with a real unit, maybe even an Eye of the Dragon. And if you block it with the Eye of the Dragon, that puts it in danger of dying to the Darkness. So kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Crescendum coming through will summon a second Eye of the Dragon to the field.
Second Eye of the Dragon coming in hot.
Of course, this could just instantly get taken down by the Darkness. Then what?
Or he could just attack and say, alright, you're just going to take this, or are we going to block? What are you going to do? You're going to keep letting my Darkness ramp up by 2 every turn? What you trying to do?
Yep. So, decides to block with the 2/5, a pretty reasonable choice, because it kills the Twisted Catalyzer. Now, of course, the problem being the Darkness able to slay the one, not the one that you would choose to have killed if at all possible, but this Darkness should be taking out the Eye of the number 1, but there are 2 more. Not only are there 2 more Eye of the Dragons, and that means on the rounds 2 more Dragonlings will spawn, right? They pose a bit of a threat themselves, should they be allowed to, but another screen, which is going to be more Darkness damage that can be put on these Eye of Dragons.
Yeah. We do see a white flame being picked up here. I would have to imagine that we swing and then play it. Not really sure.
Yeah, we're not sure how Defense War is supposed to try and navigate the end game here, or I should say the mid game. It's very difficult, especially when you're playing from behind. This is already at 6 damage, and there's no way now, now that the attack has been issued, for this Vigar to be killed in turn, which means it's going to be up to 7. This is going to be one-shotting things like the... It one-shots the Eye of the Dragons. It one-shots the Wounded White Flame. It's just so powerful. And as soon as Vigar... Things get really tough for Defense War.
Wow. Yeah, this matchup is really bad. Like, honestly. Like, just staring at this, I'm just like, how do I ever lose this? But I guess when you draw these really terrible hands and never see Minimorph, then yeah, I guess it can be pretty bad.
It's certainly possible. It's definitely losable. Especially if you don't have the answers to Lee Sin, and your opponent's able to draw and double, easily. But with the Vigar in the field, with the Senna, with the Minimorphs, Black Sparrow has so many tools at their disposal. It's gonna be pretty difficult to pull out a win here for Defense War. But he's trying his best. He's going through. Darkness is now ramped up to 7 damage, and we have a Senna whenever they would like to play it. Alright, taking out the elusive being one of the ways that sometimes a Lee Sin deck can do enough trip damage to make Lee Sin easy or easier to one-shot the Nexus. Now the Wounded White Flame also could be threatened by the Senna. It's another darkness. Although the darkness could, of course, just go to the face. That is now an option.
Yep, the darkness can definitely hit face now that we have Flip Vagar. So basically what's happening now is darkness has their win condition on board, but Defense War is still searching for the Lee Sin, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course, they're going to be trying to do their best. Playing the Zenith Blade here, it incentivizes the Darkness to not go to face, but also, and perhaps more importantly, makes him more likely to draw Lee Sin moving forward as it takes a Zenith Blade out of the deck. Oh, actually, he's only on 2, so it doesn't draw because he has the second in hand. That is now information that Black Sparrow can take for granted. If he needed any more answers to Lee Sin, so a perfect answer for Lee Sin, because it could just set his attack down to 1.
Yep, takes distress defense. Just in case. Just in case, though. Just in case he has 3 Lee Sins in hand, we need stress testing. So, I have a really amazing question.
Okay.
Is using Minimorph here BM?
If he threatens the... no. I'm going to say no. I don't think it's BM. If you Minimorph the Dragonling, that's a little BM. But there's just lethal available for Black Sparrow, and there's nothing that Defense War can do about it.
Yeah.
Because like this darkness could go face, he could stress defense, the 7/8. They're just infinite answers available from this point. It's kind of why Defense War is happening out there. The matchup we knew was difficult from the beginning, but certainly now it was time for Defense War to move on and just get into a game 2.
Yep. It happens. I mean, but even if, see, this is the crazy part about that matchup is like the win condition is Lee Sin, and even if you draw it, there's still mini morph plus the freaking stress testing. I mean the stress defense. So like you have to get through 3 threats. Like that's so much.
Not only that, but things like Despair, things like Vengeance,
Yeah.
or even Senna's Champion spell.
Exactly.
Really, I mean, if any deck is built to beat Lee Sin, I think we can say it's. But now we have Black Sparrow bringing the Fearsomes, the Karina Control, the Kindred Violise, whatever you call it, here to try and beat Zoe Lee Sin yet again.
So what do you think about this matchup? I mean, yes, they do have Vengeance, but Defense War now has a tool that he can use. Deny. So what do you think about this matchup, Doey?
We can all learn soon.
I think this is going to be favored for Defense War. I'm sorry, for Black Sparrow, because the Dragonlings can block Fearsome,
That is
and they're
true.
weak to Withering Wail. So I think those two things combined might kind of tip the scale in the favor of Black Sparrow. Now, of course, nothing is ever that easy, especially when we're at high levels of play.
That is the truth.
But even like a Burgeoning Sentinel plus a Withering Wail threatens quite a bit of damage. You wouldn't want to deny a Withering Wail like that, but he might be forced to, considering the situation that he's in. And they have 2 Withering Wails, or sorry, 2 denies available, so he doesn't need to be super protective of his denies. But yeah, this is quite the situation.
I mean, we do have one Fearsome block in here, so that's pretty good. But, Withering Wail coming down here is absolutely just game-winning, to be honest. So, obviously, we're going to see the deny here for sure. Wait, for real? Deciding against it, deciding to hold deny and use 2 spells here. How you feel about that, Doey? Think that changes much?
I think it's okay. The reason being is that he's looking at the opponent's deck list and trying to figure out how many answers exist. And right now, looking at the deck list for Black Sparrow, there are 2 Vengeances. If he could beat both Vengeances, he's probably going to win the game. If that's the reason that he... Then I kind of like it, because you keep both denies for both Vengeances, and then you live happily ever after.
Yep. However, having 2 Withering Wails here, yeah, we need to eat a deny here.
Yep.
For sure.
And now you do this because you want the Zoe spell. That's always nice. And not only that, but you wouldn't have any Fearsome blockers in the open, which would just be way too good for Black Sparrow if that did not get denied. So now he's happy that the first one wasn't denied, because now he's looking at turn 6. He's casted quite a few spells at this point. He's halfway to Lee Sin, has Lee Sin in hand. So now it's just Operation Don't Die until I can play Lee Sin with holding Deny mana up, and from that point, try and win the game.
True.
Vi stands for vicious.
Vibe being played here, but we got the Concussive Palm waiting and locked and loaded.
So this protects Zoe. Zoe over halfway to leveling up. She's at 7 out of 10. The Crescendo Balloon is 8 and 9. Lee Sin himself could be number 10. So plenty of ways to level up Zoe.
Portal me something cool.
Picks the dog. She's now at
8. Oh
8
yeah.
out of 10.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna level Zoe here.
Leveling Zoe can work, and it could even happen at burst speed. So this Vengeance can't actually stop the level up. And oh, this is actually quite bad even, because the Zoe's going to level way, and they have the and that means they're going to be able to grant their entire board usage. And forget what I said about fearsome blockers. It hasn't been too relevant. And Defense Ward's deck is doing kind of what it was made to do. Level Zoe, have Lee Sin kind of early on. And really pushing quite a bit of damage. Looking at 14, I believe. Coming down, nearly putting Black Sparrow down to 0.
Yeah, literally in one turn. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Black Sparrow looking like he's gonna have 3 health left over if they don't choose to force the block.
Oh, it looks like we're gonna try to block and take out the 3/3. That is very surprising.
Yep, they don't want like a bunch of fearsome damage to get cheesed in on an open attack because they have no answers to it. Especially because Vi can drag one of the fearsome blockers out of the way. But alas, they're playing it safe, recognizing their lose conditions here.
Oh, I see Black Sparrow. He's going for the minion OTK here. Define all odds. Concussive palm here being drawn.
Looks like that Black Spirit is actually just a turn or two too far away. If they were able to play Karina on this turn, maybe the tide could be changed into their favor. If they hit, 5 spells.
Could blow up the whole board or something.
Yeah. Get some of this fearsome damage through, and maybe top deck an atrocity, maybe them out there. But things going just a little bit too fast for their deck, and looks like Defense Wars board is really scary. I hate to see a board full of loose.
Yep. Yeah.
Staring you down.
The looses are definitely super scary here. Oh, we're gonna get Eye of the Dragon, right?
Yep, you get Eye of the Dragon, and at round start, this Eye of the Dragon will be giving life.
Oh, true.
Defense 4 was in danger, or feeling in danger a little bit. That is likely not going to be the case when the next turn begins. Alright, so Grasp going to connect.
Oh wow, this shouldn't be played there.
Yep, Lee Sin. This is also gonna re-grant Challenger to everything on the board. Lee Sin will be granted Lifesteal next turn, granted Lifesteal next turn, which is gonna make him effectively double heal because of the way Lifesteal works. Any damage done by that unit will heal even when he goes to strike me.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah. No, we're gonna tap out here.
All right, and 1-1.
That was super fun, and I gotta say,
Waiting on game number 3. Alright. Looks like we are loading up. We have the mono Ari again. Ari Kennen against PNZ Shadow Isles Control. I think my intuition is telling me that this is favored for the PNZ Shadow Isles player. Now, the reason being, they have lots of ways to relatively mana efficiently kill the elusives, to kill Ari, to kill Kennen, and not have to kind of worry about that. Not only that, but they also have that fearsome keyword. It's pretty valuable in this matchup as the droplet, Kennen, Ari, Navori Conspirator, all the primary don't have 3 power.
Yeah, that is true. None of these units can block. Like nobody but freaking level 2 and level 2 Kennen and Ari.
Yep. So Scattered Pod can block, I guess. Wait, they're actually probably not even on Scattered Pod. Because they're not splashing SI. Yeah, so definitely. Maybe a Concussive Palm can block, but other than that, the fearsome keyword quite valuable, as well as things like the box on turn 4. Like if a Kinku Wayfinder were to hit the field right now, that simply gets just boxed and then the game like ends.
Yep.
But no Kinku Wayfinder. Instead, we see a second Navori Conspirator.
Oh wow, developing Kindred here.
Yep, Kindred. Pretty scary for Defense War to deal with, because you end up running into this situation where they can't really proc it with this Mystic Shot because of the Twin Disciplines and the recall. However, it almost makes it feel like that your units can't block at all because they get the stay progress.
I'll be very surprised if we go for this Valve feature. Wow. It's actually very surprising. Because if we try to develop next turn, then you can kind of use multiple spells to kill something. And maybe even get like denies or even other bounce spells out of the hand. But
yeah, I think it's pretty important for Black Sparrow maybe to start forcing Defense 4 not to have any excess mana, because it makes things harder and harder and develop, at the same time. Coming into this turn with 1 more mana, it's kind of nice. We'll have to see if it's able to play out. I'm sure Black Sparrow is really hoping to see Kinku Wayfinder hit the field. Not happening. And we also can't forget that these Mystic Shots, they can go face.
yep.
Defense Forward down to 8 health, just like that, because of the inability for this deck to block.
Hello Words says is a story as old as time. Patch release Lee Sin gone. 2 weeks passes and the kick boy comes home. If that isn't facts, I don't know what is.
So we're seeing a very high value Static Shock be played here. Now this might get denied.
Yeah.
The box could be a response to a deny. This also will end up taking out a Navori conspiracy, not get called. After the mark is on it. Yeah, this doesn't really actually work. They do get the extra card draw, but the second Navori conspirator does still get marked. So at the end of the turn, they will be dropping. That leaves only one blocker available on the open. Likely a thermo beam coming down. Yep.
There it is.
So we only have one blocker on the open attack, which means there's 4 damage. Oh, I guess Cannon is free. Or I can't count. One of the two.
Yep, deciding to definitely mark Cannon because she is the big. They're the biggest issue here for sure.
All right.
Kinku
So,
Wayfinder top decked after he uses the box. That actually really sucks.
I'm doing
yeah, and that could bring out 3 more blockers on one action. It's pretty solid. Kennen even now can be blocking Fearsome, so that's all right. Kennen's spell able to stun the Kindred, which is kind of solid. And right now we see kind of the strength of this Kennen deck. It's very resilient once Kennen things get rid, especially when things like the Kinku and the God Willow Seedling.
I think he should line up Vi first. Yeah. It's a better time. Because then, it'll proc the 2/2. Nine times out of 10, we're gonna see this Mystic Shot hit for sure.
Yep, and no actual response available to this Mystic Shot. Recall is held up, but Black Sparrow calling the bluff, and looks like the board is going to be cleared, at least temporarily. Or Defense or Kindred now with the level up.
Everyone, dear wolf.
Wow.
open. Want to rancid.
Kinku Wayfinder just hoping there's not another box in the hand of Black Sparrow, and there isn't.
I mean, unless he's greedy and he knows there's a third Kinku Wayfinder, but that's just greedy.
There's also not enough board space
That's true.
for that to work out. So, kind of a cheeky play that could be played is a Spirit Journey on let's say Kennen or Dancing Droplet, probably on Dancing Droplet, I guess, which will then put its mark Shadow Assassin. Nice, yes. Limits something that could block a Kindred later on, although not exactly the cleanest of plays. The big deal for Defense War here is trying to find a way for Fierce to connect. Alright, so the Mark of the Storm going to go on the Booberoo Sentinel, a solid choice. Unfortunately, there's no way to get a second mark onto the cannon at an appropriate speed. So the open attack is threatening 3 damage at a minimum.
Well,
That's
if we pull the cannon, then we have lethal.
That's true. Vi is indeed a challenger unit, and yeah, that's representing lethal. Absolutely. You are correct.
So I think Defense War is gonna try. Wait, He's just trying to draw cards. I thought we were gonna try to kill the well, not kill, but I guess try to stun the 3/2. But Black Sparrow definitely has Spirit Journey here to just stop it. Also marking the excuse me, the Shadow Assassin. So it's gonna die. Kendrick's gonna gain a +2/+2, and we're moving forward.
Yep. The cannon getting pulled to the side, and yeah, that's it. No answers available. Not able to find anything that's particularly meaningful and presented. And Black Sparrow gonna take the set 2-1.
Yep. Even leveling by here.
Alright, let's take a little gander at our bracket. Just see how things are panning out in the other games. Looks like we're gonna have Dudu to Nunu against Kevin LOR. I have Kevin if you have Dudu.
Yep. Let me see right now. I think I have Nunu. Yep, that's not Nunu. I got it.
Alright. Here in the semi-final match.
Semi-finals already. Like and then this is why I say that we don't take breaks, because we're like, honestly, we just steamroll through the tournament. Like, honestly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's tournament goes by quite quick. It's really not that long of a tournament. I mean, I've only been live for 2 hours and 50 in the semis.
Yep, in the semis. We're already in semifinals, and I've only been alive for an hour and 57 minutes. So it's not too long of a tournament.
Yeah. When you do single limb like this, because the players don't have to wait and start, the tournament goes so fast.
Yep.
Usually 2 hours into a tournament, in like a Swiss bracket, you might be in the middle of like round 2, maybe if you're lucky. But right now we're in round 4. So
we're already in round 4.
Alright, so Dudu on this Taric Pantheon. We saw Taric Pantheon earlier against Sivir Akshan. I think this matchup is very concerted strike dependent. If they could concerted and kill, a Pantheon or a huge Saga White Flame, or perhaps most importantly a Taric that wants to rally, that can be excellent. So we'll have to see if Kevin LR is able to make use out of concerted strike, and if not, we might see victory going to Dudu to Nunu.
I am ready. Cool eye patch.
You like it? I mean, shut up and fight.
All right, so we see the Vicorian Vagabond coming out, which isn't a very well statted unit. The Saga Seeker definitely going to be outpacing the Vagabond. Akshan even not really able to get in there and attack too much because of the ability for the Faded keyword to kind of stack up the Saga Seeker.
So we do see a Taric in the hand of Nunu here, right? But I guess they're probably trying to decide if they want to develop that or maybe the GOAT here, so they can keep getting these Pantheon procs. Because we do have to start facilitating these Faded procs, right?
Yep, that is definitely the idea. They do have, the Pale Cascade, which helps out. Our Terra Pantheon player also has Concerted Strike, which can do things like killing Akshan before he's able to go out of control, and also counter a Concerted Strike from Kevin should he ever.
Draw them blind.
Alright. Thinking about the blocks here, fine. He hits that OK button. 5 damage being pushed. And yeah, Kevin's just gonna be happy dealing 5 damage. No need for a Shapestone there, even though it would have leveled Akshan, so maybe that's a line that he could have taken. Opts not to, and instead just going to be content dealing 5 damage and seeing where Dudununu is going to spend his mana for his next attack token.
Yo, have you ever been spectating somebody and you see the blue pass button and you just start pressing it?
No, I can't say that's happened. I can say though, watching Twitch streams, I try and hover the eye to see how some results. I do that all the time. I try and hover.
You're just like, wait, why can't I calculate this? Oh, this is not my game.
Yeah, like what's going on? Mobile Linux needs to work on that extension. That'd be.
That would be dope for the audience to be able to also use the eye. That would be freaking dope, honestly.
That would be insane, but alas, that would be probably a technological nightmare trying to get that to work.
Yeah, for sure.
We see the Akshan levels up, able to pop the Warlord's Horde, gets the Bruiser, which gets threatened quite a bit. Like right now, if a spell is not played on Terra, which of course the spell will be, that would, kill the Terra. Kind of the debate now is probably between Gem and a Pale Cascade. I typically favor the Pale Cascade because the Pale Cascade would draw 2 in this situation. 1, which I like, instead going for the cheaper and less easy to cast Gem.
Hush does come out here.
Yeah, and the Hush is absolutely brutal because the Hush means the Victorian Bruiser doesn't even get the keyword generation from the Lucky Find from Strike Effect, which is really going to put a damper on the strength of this attack.
Together, stranger.
Unfortunately, not quite enough mana here for the Absolver to really do much of anything. So a simple Sharp Sight sufficient to keep Akshan alive. And right now, without any answers being committed, at least at the moment, looks like Dudununu will be taking 3 damage.
Oh, decides to go for this Concerted here. Definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, Concerted Strike could be considered to be relatively safe because Kevin cannot Concerted Strike in response. He does not have enough mana. And not only that, of course, we have the benefit of knowing have it in hand. So this Concerted Strike will connect. The Saga Seeker will grow even more. And yeah, things looking quite dire as actions taken out. Maybe we see Sivir develop. That's kind of nice. It's a decent blocker, especially because he has a second one. But things kind of looking dire for Kevin. And Kevin knows that if this Taric is able to survive for too much longer, if the rally goes off, things might get very quick.
Oh wow, that Taric, I mean that Sivir actually has Challenger, which is really, really good.
Yeah, Quick Attack Challenger is kind of one of the premier combinations that a card can have. Of course, being able to choose your blocker and not taking damage from it is quite good.
LOR said, Tarek always wins these. His six pack is too strong. Never lied. Yeah, Tarek. I mean, it looks like Tarek should win because Kevin doesn't have any way to interact with the double rally shenanigans. But we'll see here.
Yeah, so we might. It's kind of awkward because there isn't a ton of mana. And actually, Silver Spell, because it's not like Make It, put it on the stack, you don't get to see what it's going to hit before you have to commit the button, as far as I know. Which means that it could end up sniping a unit that you don't expect, and you maybe otherwise would have prevented that from happening. But with this double Pale Cascade, Tarek's going to level up, and now these units, when he attacks, both Tarek and his ally will be indestructible, be unable to take damage this turn, which is really setting up not so much for lethal on this specific turn, but the following turn, unless some shenanigans can be pulled. We're really looking at a strong turn for Didu next turn. With that being said, Sivir, she's not quite leveled up, but action's leveled up, so she can pop the Warlords right now. Burst speed can be popped before the attack is issued, before anything else happens. That's a solid move. Oh my goodness, there might be lethal. There might just be lethal here. I think he has to go for it. Oh no, not quite enough mana, actually. Nope, there's exactly enough mana. He could present lethal. Spoiler,
draws a rally though.
Oh, but with the reduced costs. And Sivir's Challenger. Kevin might have found it. Because he could re-double cast the Absolver. Plus he can rally. Oh no. Oh no. I think he had to show lethal.
Yeah, I think he had to show lethal.
Wait, he could concert it? He could concert it. He could kill Tarek?
Yeah, but now these units get to swing into him.
And then he could block one of them.
Nah, he had to present lethal there. Why did he? I really wonder why he decided not to present lethal there.
Alright, so Tarek will fall. The rally still goes through. Yeah, this is gonna work out. Well, it's actually not lethal. Oh, it is. Ooh. It's exact. Oh, we're so close. This game, it's actually not.
Oh, he didn't proc faded. Oh, wow.
The gem enough, yeah. Man, I definitely think lethal could and should have been presented there.
Yeah. For sure.
I'd have to double back and look at the mana and the deck list is trying to, but certainly you have to play around the wrap and present lethal. He had mana to cast both sides of the Absolver again, which I think alone would have been lethal in that situation. And on top of that, he could have concerted struck whatever blocked push, just the final little bit of damage should have been needed, but alas, did not happen. And our victor of that series is Dudu Daninu. Going back to the finals again. He's just living in the finals. He's always here. for a best of one series, it's amazing how But in our other semifinal game, do you have?
I have Chavez.
Very good. So Feel the Rush against this kind of Karina control style deck. Generally speaking, I think this ought to be favored for the Feel the Rush, unless there's a big ruination and or the Ladros flip comes down. In those situations, maybe Karina control can find kind of the out quicker than Feel the Rush, but we'll have to wait and see kind of how this game one resolves here.
Okay, so this is gonna be the first proc for Kindred. We do see Vengeance and also Karina and Ladros in the hand of Black Sparrow. Also the minion also in the hand. But we do see the Feel the Rush turn coming in hot. Feel the Rush is definitely gonna be slammed here for sure.
Yeah, so the kind of an awkward situation for Black Sparrow because he can kill any unit that's Feel the Rush or rushed with the thermogenic beam, which is nice, and then you get the extra trundle, which is nice, but despite that, I mean, you're still facing a 10-10 Tryndamere. Not only that, but if the second or if the pillar is played, that means that the Slay proc would go on pillar, which is kind of a bit of a whiff. But the big Ladros comes through, 9 damage to the Nexus there, cuts the health total in half, and actually kind of the board now is quite threatening because Ladros, you know, has to go block, or at least
Okay, I think we gladly take this, no?
yeah, I think Chavez Elite is okay with this. It does mean that his Trundle will die at the end of the turn.
Well, we get a whole new Trundle.
Yeah, we get a new Trundle, but better.
Well, exactly.
Because it's going to be bigger. And we'll have to see whether or not this will be enough damage. I'm inclined to think it is when combined with the Atrocity. The big issue with that is something like a Vengeance. So
Yeah.
that means his Atrocity has to be targeted on his own Tryndamere, because the Vengeance won't actually kill Tryndamere. So the Ice Pillar enables Ladros to be dragged to that Ice Pillar, pushing more damage on the attack. It's a pretty solid idea.
And then on the stack, giving them the Atrocity so that we can most definitely have lethal here.
Yeah, they could also even opt to Battle Fury Tryndamere, put him up to an 18-10. That's kind of nuts. But that seems a little troll, I think, to preemptive or 1814, I should say, to
Yeah.
preemptively commit that Battle Fury. I think you just present lethal here by dragging them out of the way, force block, see if you get a Vengeance out of the hand or something of Black Sparrow.
I mean, he has to be going for the Trundle, for sure.
Yeah, so with the Vengeance buff, you can actually Vengeance twice now. It used to be impossible. So if he does this, if he Vengeances this Trundle, Chavez Elite needs to decide whether or not it's worth playing the Atrocity, because it could just get countered by a second Vengeance. An interaction that's new as of
That's true.
that you could do that. So this kind of late game scenario, kind of game of chicken between the two, who's going to commit the most resources the earliest. Of course, looking at the hand of Black Sparrow, see the second Vengeance. Yeah, so we're going with the Battle Fury. I think it's actually pretty reasonable, because the second Vengeance wouldn't this Tryndamere. Lots of damage coming on through, puts him down to 7, and we are very likely.
Yeah.
Ooh, actually, we should see a Thermo Beam come down. I think try and this Tryndamere on this turn. That way you could deck another Vengeance and beat an Atrocity. It's the only way to beat Atrocity, given the hand state, I think. Yep. Given the hand state of Black Sparrow. So, I mean, of course, you have the benefit of cast division. We know he needs to try and beat Atrocity. And he doesn't. Maybe he's putting him off Atrocity because he didn't use it to counter the Vengeance.
Oh, I forgot Tryndamere's champ spell is. I forgot Fury. Not Fury of the North. Battle Fury. I forgot Battle Fury is Grant. So this stays as an 18-7 forever.
Yep, and with the tapped out nature, 5-plan Karina, that frees up the end game, and we're going to be moving on to game number 2.
1919 with tough, by the way.
Kinda good. Kinda good.
Looks pretty good.
Not even a challenge.
Wow, that was actually insane.
Yeah, well played there. I really kind of like the Battle Fury line. I think it was the safest because it beat Second Vengeance. And not only beating Second Vengeance, but it also made it impossible for this Tryndamere to be dealt with. Because he would still level up, right?
Exactly. So, like, even if he, like, say for instance, top decked the Vengeance, it wouldn't have mattered because then the Tryndamere would have just leveled up and hit you for 19 damage. So,
right, absolutely. So now we have Darkness against this Karina control deck, and both decks really trying to control the board. I think I think that maybe if I'm going to make a prediction, maybe I give it to because they obviously remove Senna and Vygar, and then have the top end with Ladros plus Atrocity to try and finish out the game. We'll have to see how it ends up finishing. Whoa! Thank you for the 12 months, a year of support. Man, I can't believe I've been affiliated here. Jeez, a year of affiliate. Man, that's insane. Insane. Thank you so much, man.
that's nice. Year of support, bro.
Yo, and I reached my weekly sub goal? That's kind of pog.
Poggers. That's legit right there.
Or Actually, I didn't. I forgot to reset it with the new week.
Uh,
We're at 1.
I was like, dang,
Control.
that's so poggers. We hit our sub goal. It's only Tuesday.
I know, right? I know, right? We're a third of the way there. All right. So, kind of all the tools are available for Black Sparrow. He has the Ladro set of hand. They even have Kindred, that can actually handle Vygar really well because Vygar is the lowest strength unit in the deck of Darkness. So with that being said, I think Black Sparrow is probably feeling quite comfortable at this point in the game.
Yeah, that's true. So even if he does take out one of these 2/2s, that Vygar is gonna get targeted by Kindred. So he has to be very careful when he decides to develop Vygar.
Yep. That being said, Kindred is quite vulnerable to Darkness. Kindred now only having 3 health. Darkness can ramp up pretty quickly. So Kindred is maybe because of easy or how relatively easy it is to take her out with these generated spells. Doesn't respond? Yeah, I'm not gonna respond to nonsense from my mods. Anyway. Yeah, so we're just kind of progressing through the mid part of the game. The control decks just, doing control deck things, trying to kind of bait each other into tapping out of resources before they really get full amount of value. The hand for Chavez Elite is actually quite bad. Having call but no champions this deep into the game is really rough. And we'll have to see whether or not he's able to kind of draw well enough to make things worth his while. I guess fortunately they do have the Poke Sticks and the Vile Feast, and they're slowly but surely going to ping the board or the health total of Kindred.
Yep, they are slowly winnowing away at this Kindred. We do see a way to actually kill this Kindred in the form of a Vile Feast or a group shot. So definitely have ways to kill Kindred here, which is really good.
Yep. So Kindred does fall and it does save, which is nice, and the Elise dies as well to the group shot. So again, both control decks doing what they do best, controlling the board and ensuring that nothing is getting out of control too early. Now, we do see the finisher for Black Sparrow. That is Ladros plus Atrocity. So that will require answers such as Rest Defense, such as Mini Morph, such as Vengeance, to try to make sure that this Ladros doesn't single-handedly win the game.
Oh, we do see a Veigar top deck.
Yeah, I think this Vygar might just get instantly Vengeance. I don't think there's a reason not to Vengeance it. It's its scariest card in the deck. It, will ramp up the darkness over time. And if you're not going to Vengeance Vygar, what really are you going to Vengeance?
True. Well, we do got missed call here, so.
Yep, missed call, getting value. It's been in the hand for quite some time. The Thermo Beam, gonna take it out again. And the missed call will revive a Vygar.
So, we did see double missed call in the hand of Chavez. So, pretty good, to be honest, be able to keep the Vygar on board. Kindred has already been taken care of. So, This Vega is definitely gonna stick.
Yep. Now we have the top end though. We're on 9. Ladros. Karina is. Karina, if she hits 4 spells, really kill Vigar. Be nice. And also, Karina herself is an atrocity. So we can have 2 potential atrocity targets moving forward.
Oh, preemptively using stress defense. I like it. Oh, but only hit 1.
Big whiff coming from Karina there. Which maybe makes Chavez Elite feel bad that they wasted that stress defense, because stress defense is an answer to Commander Ladros' atrocity.
That's true. Yep, that is very true. Stress defense is definitely an answer to the atrocity. So that could come in big later on.
Absolutely. Alright, Karina forcing a block, maybe. Really depends if they want to give the Twisted Catalyzer a free hit. Decides not to. And when you top deck a Mystic Shot like that, you all of a sudden become happy that you did not force the Twisted Catalyzer to strike.
Kneel.
Honestly, I think it's fine.
Alright. They seem to think so as well.
I
Perhaps.
think we go Ladros, yeah.
Yeah, and they might end up also deciding to play a Mystic Shot next. Well, not anymore. I was gonna say if they played a Mystic 3-2, then you don't have a Fearsome block, which is an issue. Vigar leveling up, so both kind of control, getting to the late stage of the game, feeling very happy, very confident, both doing what they're designed to do. Now it's just gonna be a matter of which player has enough kind of threats that the other eventually can.
Whoa. In the head of Chavez, he does have lethal. So we do need some kind of response out of Black Sparrow here.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of what they could possibly be. Like, he could Vengeance plus Mystic Shot to swing in for 9, but that's not an that also taps him out of mana, so he can't be on top of it. So things are looking quite dire. 6 damage. Wow, I'm Caster Curse today. I think be player, but it looks like the Darkness player has kind of found the way through, being able to heal just a little bit. Really made him not have to worry about the atrocity, and even if he did have to worry about the atrocity, the Vengeance backup is, crucial here.
Yep. I think the buff for Vengeance being 6 mana is gonna come in clutch here.
Alright, Black Sparrow trying to figure out a way that he could present lethal at least. Ends up just passing in. That he has to know that that's just it. With the pass, the Darkness face, there's no way to stop this, no way to beat this.
Yep.
Because the atrocity. Oh, I guess they could Mystic Shot on the stack. They could present lethal. Pretty good, pretty solid. Wish to see it deny in Shadow Isles.
But we do see a Vengeance being shown. Chavez also having a additional Vengeance in hand. So all the answers were there. Yep.
Glimpse beyond, just trying to see what was on top of his deck, just to see, maybe the game went one more turn, static shock, second static shock, not much of an answer either. Good game going to Chavez Elite, though. Our final should be Chavez Elite versus Dudu Nunu, kind of the control player versus I think Ken and Ari, and what else did Dudu Nunu bring? I can't remember off the top of my head. Do you?
I could look at his decks real fast. I don't remember 100% what he wrote. I know he definitely bought Ken and Ari. Yeah, he definitely bought Ken and Ari for sure. Because we were talking about that. First deck I clicked on was Ken and Ari.
Yep, and then Pantheon.
Oh yeah, Pantheon. Yeah.
Fizz Lulu.
Oh, is it Lulu?
Lulu Fizz, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're just waiting on them to go ahead and get started. Should be just about any minute now.
Should be any second now, but Adobe, I actually made a video because I was checking top of masses right now. You know how many people in the top 20 is playing Ken and Ari right now?
Let me guess, 10?
17.
No way. Oh my. Balanced game. Oh no. Oh no.
So yeah, I had to make a video about it earlier.
It's gotten worse.
Has it?
All but one of them.
All but one? Oh wow.
Yep. Only easy to win.
Oh wow, that's insane, actually.
Of the top 20.
Yeah, I had to
Riot, please.
Yeah, hopefully they hot fix it because I mean even Enamor literally made a Reddit post about how he put Swampworks in his deck and then made it to rank 1. Like
Yeah, someone put sunk cost.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, sunk cost. No, that was Enamor.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. He made it to rank 1.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. All right, here's the 3. Actually, I think it's 18 out of 20. Dudu Nunu doesn't have an inspect deck, at least at the moment. So we can say 18 out of 20. Sorry, I'm reading about this because I have to. 18 out of 20 decks on her. The top decks on the leaderboard are Ken and Ari. W.
Wow. Yeah, I'm watching your stream. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. It did get worse. Okay. That's insane. Actually.
All right. I got Black Sparrow. Do you have Nunu?
Yes, I have Nunu.
Nice.
Wait, Chavez won. Do you have Nunu?
Yes.
Okay, I have Chavez.
Great. Alright, so we got some Ken and Ari, of course, against the kind of Krina control deck, Kindred and Elise. This should be favored for the Kindred Elise player. This deck is kind of there to beat Ken and Ari. We saw it defeat Ken and Ari earlier. We'll see if it's able to do so again. I mean, Ken and Ari is just an absolutely ridiculous deck.
It's a monster of a deck.
Why can't Mono Shurima be this good?
Right? Like,
right? Why can't Mono Shurima be the tier 1 deck that everyone hates? I want to tell the people what I've seen today.
Like, I want to give people some movies. Like, what's up?
Yes, you know, in their Shuriman cars. Like, I want to watch it.
We cannot forget about the Shuriman cars. There's no way we can forget about the Shuriman cars.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get through the vast desert somehow, right? And now they're zooming in their car. All jokes aside, this Ken and Ari deck is obviously just ridiculous. If you want to play Ken and Ari, it's kind of a hard deck to play, which I think is the only reason 30% play rate deck. But it is worth the time to learn to play.
Yep.
If you're not going to play it, you might want to hard counter it. Might be want to play some Spider or some Draven Rumble or something like that, trying to beat it. I think it's a bit of a fool's errand there. It's just too strong.
I would honestly, if I would be playing in the tournament tomorrow, I would make a lineup that is not trying to play against this deck. I'd be making lineups that counter decks that I know that people are gonna bring with this deck. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, a super intelligent way to go about it. At least until we get a hot fix. I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope it's like tomorrow. Because 18 out of 20, there might be a problem. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, LOR. I already know. Dory likes to show his face on his stream, so we're not able to show it in Discord. But his face will be here tomorrow on the Mystic Shop podcast. So if you would like to watch him with me, you know where to find him. Appreciate it.
All right. So.
Oh, we just healing.
Yeah, that drain too. Got the double kill. No response, you know, available for do, and really started the muscles of this spec start flexing.
Yeah.
The Buru Sentinel, the Burgeoning Sentinel. Oh, pop quiz. Pop quiz. Ready?
Yeah.
What was the original name for the Burgeoning Sentinel? Beast. They changed the name of this card.
Yo, I have no idea. I thought it was always called Burgeoning Sentinel.
No. This card used to be called the Demacian Sentinel.
For it? Wait. Oh, LOR knew it? Oh wow. Look at chat.
Yeah, the Demacian Sentinel. But then people got so confused about why the card said Demacian was
Shadow Owls. Yeah. That makes no sense.
Yes, so they had to change the name.
Wow. That's a cool trivia question. I might write that one down somewhere. Hold on.
So, Fearsome Blocker is available, but it will require the Fey Blade to sack themselves. Concussive Palm coming down on the not Demacian Sentinel. And maybe only the minion going to striking for 2 damage.
Oh.
TK, but it is, you know, not a meaningless amount.
No, wait. Hold on, though. We're slowly racking up. This OTK here, okay? Do not doubt minion OTK. It is a thing.
You know, I don't think you know what OTK means. You can't slowly ramp up the OTK. That's the opposite of an OTK. But yeah, minion coming in for 2 damage. Kind of cute.
Oh, LOR said quiz question number 2. What's the name of Roz's skill? Oh my, I know this one.
Is it like a Night Harvest or something?
Oh my god, I freaking know this. No, I freaking know this.
What is it?
Oh my god.
Is
I
it
can't
Night
freaking
Harvest?
remember. I know it's Harvest something. I'm pretty sure it's Harvest something. I'm not sure what the word before that is. I can't remember.
It is.
Oh, Night Harvest. It's Night Harvest. Yeah, you're right.
Nailed it. Score 1 for Doey.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, I knew it was Harvest something. I couldn't remember what the first word was though.
Yeah. Also, Ross's weapon is a item, which is kind of cool. Anyway, back to the game.
I know these guys are literally they're trying their hardest over here, and we're over here talking about Raza and stuff like he's in this game, like he exists.
Yeah, I know. That's a card we haven't seen since beta. Like, jeez. He could use a buff.
Buff him, Riot, please.
But we do see a little bit of damage kind of trickling in here for our Ahri player. Down to 9 health. Ladros is obviously winning in time. Again, a big unit decides not to tap under, which is nice, which is a strong, good decision because they don't want to get blown out by a homecoming. That would be kind of brutal. So they're just kind of trading out the board.
I'm really surprised we decided to open attack there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were trying to really represent. It's perhaps because they didn't want them to have sign-in plus homecoming mana available when they played Ladros.
Okay.
At least that's kind of what I could see being a potential kind of problem for them. But with this being said, Ahri's kind of taking control of the board, and Ahri is at 5 out of 6 on the level up, which means she will turn. They could recall sign in and draw either they really have nothing to fear because they have so many cards in hand. They only have 18 cards left in their deck. This deck draws so much. So many cards get drawn in this deck.
Yeah, Lord. That deny is definitely MVP. Look, Chavez is forced into this ruination because if we keep letting this go, then it's just going to be too much. But we have the golden deny. We say, no, you shall not clear my board. I shall win the game.
So, depending on how Dudu orders this attack, never mind. I have nothing of value to add.
6, 9, 12,
this is just gonna be it.
Yep.
Actually, no, they actually misordered. Oh, they have twin.
No, they have twin.
Never mind. We're packing this one up. Dudu victorious in game 1. Has to feel really good about this because they kind of won what should kind of be an unfavored matchup. But that's the strength of the deck. Sometimes the deck just wins anyway. It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, they just drew. Honestly, I thought Chavez had the game under control, but then I just looked at Nunu's hand and he had a full grip of cards.
Yeah, I mean, we got distracted by League of Legends Runeterra trivia, and then we came back and Nunu was winning.
Like, I actually thought I didn't think the game was over, but I thought the game was coming to a close. And then we came back and Nunu had a full grip of cards and Chavez only had like 3 cards in hand. I was like, yo, what happened?
Yeah. And it turns out I keep calling games for this Sentinel, for this Queen of Control style, list, and it keeps losing games. Like, I keep thinking that it's supposed to be fair. Anyway.
I mean, in essence, it should be, but I guess not because, I mean, at the end of the day, deny is still a card.
That is true. Can confirm deny is that bit of trivia I do know.
Will confirm.
Again, this list by Dudu does not have too many fearsome blockers. They're also pretty susceptible to removal, like Shot, because before Yordle cast, these units have that.
Oh, okay. LOR said it is favored but you need Kindred to actually you need Kindred and company to actually win the matchup. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Not quite in mana territory or range of, but maybe we'll see something like a Fizz develop. It's pretty safe into most spells.
Other than like Withering Well, obviously, but I guess we just get blown out by that either way.
Yeah. A Withering Well next turn would be pretty brutal. Or a Withering Well on the turn that Yordle in Arms is cast. But we see an attack come down, trying to trade a Serpent for a Spider, just getting rid of some jump blocks, trying to push in a little bit of damage, knowing that maybe the route to victory is through a nice Yordle turn later. They can afford to empty out their board a bit, and it's because of this mecha they have vested, because it will refill their hand when they're when it's summoned.
No Withering Well. We got Vengeance, which is not that good in this matchup, but still a card.
Yep, and we see the
Oh,
hand refill here.
wait a second. Stony, oh my.
Yeah, Sony's Suppressor, I think it's already missed its window because they can't play it and your turn.
That's
which is like really unfortunate. It'd be so cool if they could, making this removal action. Kindred gonna go ahead and get in here on the attack. As these slays progress, it's essentially a 2-for-1, so you can definitely afford to block with the 0-1. As it stands, it will be killed anyway.
There was a star that crashed down to Earth.
Did it crush anyone?
By the Kindred mark.
Dear Wolf, but it met its match.
What happened to it?
The star was returned, and from it, a man was reborn.
Going for this Mystic Shot here.
Wanting to keep the spider alive. Kind of interesting. Yeah, not really sure why, but alas, that's what they chose. So this Thrashing Snapper is kind of funny when combined with rolls and because it gains +3 attack when it gets. So it could get +7. This could be a 9-5 if it does get blocked this turn.
There it is.
So, Shaw is Elite trying to find the most efficient way to deal with this board. And I'll tell you what, it's not going to be easy because now slaying a unit is quite difficult unless he's willing to cast the box here. If he's willing to cast the box, the Thrashing Snapper would be killed. They could even Vengeance the Fizz right now because they're tapped out of. It would be very weak to Poro Cannon. Lose the game to.
They must have heard you. The moment they thought about it, they're like, "Oh wait, yeah, Poro Cannon's pretty bad." But all jokes aside, I think we still do have to Vengeance something. Maybe on attack, like whatever's targeting Kindred, we try to kill it, and then we
so
take out
likely the
something
Flame
else.
Chompers.
Yeah.
And Yordles in Arms, such a strong card.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you're going to attack Kindred with it, actually, the attack order doesn't really matter, because Kindred dies anyway. All right, this kind of pseudo one-sided ruination.
Yeah.
Sometimes what it feels like.
Stay a while.
Vengeance going down on the Thrashing Snapper. Kindred's Mark will go on to the Flame Chomper, so that'll be killed at round end. And no more Fearsomes available for Kindred to attack alongside. Dominion. Might just get killed here.
Pokey stick.
Alright, block pretty likely. And actually Fizz will be the one to get the I believe in this situation. Oh, if you block like this, it goes to the Zonite Urchin. I guess the tie is broken by the non-champion. Or maybe the one with the fierce keywords. I don't know how it works in a tie in the strength and the mana, everything. Maybe it's just a non-champion. I would love to see this Zonite Urchin maybe come down. You could drag the
Oh, that's stony.
out of the way. The Stony Suppressor. What does this prevent from being cast, though? That's the question. Like, Ruination is still available?
Yeah, Ruination is still on the table here. Yeah, I don't know. That didn't really stop much.
I feel like it just ends up stopping the ease of the burn that he has. I think Zonite Urchin into Flame Chomper into dragging the Kindred out of the way might have been the ideal line. But it's easy. Again, I see both hands. Easy for me to make choices. I'm not sure 4 mana was up either for Shava's Elite. That would have been very weak into the box.
Oh, we're just straight up
This is
going
also
for
weak.
Ruination.
Yeah, going for the Ruination. Knows that there's not much he can lose to. Should he Ruinate here? Especially because next turn he can develop things like Minion again and gain value.
Calm mind and open heart breathe the night.
We're gonna take 2 here. But I think it's just fine.
We're kind of sitting right at the edge of it actually being fine because we see so much burn damage in the hand of D5 burn damage, and we things get pretty tricky pretty quickly if this if Dudununu develops before casting Yordle in Arms next turn.
I'm surprised he didn't decide to attack there.
He doesn't want
Anything else?
to trade out any of his units or lose to Mystic Shot because he might need a block on this turn. I think now that 2 units have been developed, it's so tough, right? Because he could Karina and likely wipe the. But is that good enough? Is that a winning play when he could always just play the box into more development?
Behold, my masterwork.
if they don't develop more,
Oh.
if it's Yordle arms, you can box.
Looks like they're willing to take the
Tilt
risk.
block. Yeah, now he's tapped under the box, and you're very weak. Plus, any amount of burn. 2 plus 4 is 9. Or sorry, 4 plus 5 is 9. So he can full develop any Yordles and arms here. Doesn't quite win the game though.
Hang on. We're rolling.
Rockball Path is pretty cute.
So we see another Yordles and arms here coming down.
Yeah, so he can clear the board, essentially, except Karina. Okay, the sense go like this. It means Karina dies to a Mystic Shot. So kind of playing for a long game. Which might end up playing well considering the hand of as a unit, and I guess about as well. This kind of late game getting tricky. Generally speaking, you definitely say the Karina is favored the later the game goes, but something like Jack the Winner might be able to find enough burn damage.
Who's angry for action?
I remember when I first started playing this game, I thought Jack the Winner was just the most busted card in Pirate Aggro.
Oh, we're going for double box. Wow.
Double box, really trying to put the strain on the resources. Also going to push what looks to be 3 damage because the Karina gets blocked. Oh, but the Mystic Shot, so now you're only pushing 1 damage, but that's going to be enough because the Aftershock in the hand of Shala's Elite deals 3.
Just one of those had to connect. Oh, and the Lidros draw. Yeah, so that's just game. Okay. Going into a game 3.
Yeah, a grand finals is incoming. We're going to have in arms trying to take back what was stolen from them, which was the win. See if they can get over the hump, if they could be the grand finalist yet again. Matching up against Darkness. Alright, and after this mulligan phase, we see some core cards in the hand of both players. We see the Yordles in arms, we see Lulu, we see ways to make Dark cheaper. Even the Twisted Catalyzer top.
Only I can command darkness. Only I.
A tough call here, whether you attack and let him get the block, or just Mystic Shot the Twisted Catalyzer next turn. It's a tough call because you expect your Loping Telescope to lose out to something like a Wild Feast.
Yeah, Valfeast would definitely be suck. Would definitely suck into the what's the name?
And if it helps.
The Charger.
Mm-hmm. I think tossing or discarding that Mecha Yordle was a great decision. At the 6 mana price point, it's probably being played too late for something that might not win the game. and its effect overlaps with Yordles and Arms anyway. So I think that's a pretty solid for Nunu. Drawing the Flame Chompers off the top, and with the discard fodder kind of available, pretty solid for Nunu. To see how he tries to navigate this kind of almost end game scenario. With the Yordles and Arms and the Flame Chompers available, especially alongside the cannon, things are getting quite dicey for Chavez Elite because the deck of Nunu doing the thing that it wants. Right? It's going wide, it has the big buffs, and it has the challenger as well as the elusives. Yeah, and just like that, we're getting nice 5 damage in and a free trade out onto the Salted Roadmaker.
Wait, huh? I thought if you buff with Lulu, it heals the unit. It doesn't do that anymore?
It sets to 4/4. It took 3 damage after.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, you're
Became
right.
a 0/1.
Yeah, you're right. It took the 4 damage after. I mean, the 3 damage after.
Yep. We see one in the hand of Chavez Elite, and that is the Withering Wave. Turns out, flooding the board with a bunch of 1/1s and then playing a Yordle isn't that great into Withering Will, and it kind of looks like that's the route that Nunu might go. Try and put him on Withering Will or die. Alas, we don't see the extra development here from the Daring Port. Slightly playing around things like Withering Whale.
I mean, yeah. I guess he's just saying, like, either you have it or you're gonna die. Like he said.
Despite that, this is still going to be 7, 8, 9 damage. Oh, even more. 7. Oh my gosh, it's so much damage.
Oh!
Yeah, well done. Well dragged there because the Yordle. That the Ligar. And so much damage going through anyway, even despite the. I think at this point in time, Nunu is simply going to flood the board with more threats than Darkness can answer. One of the problems with Darkness is that the spells, even at the 2-cost price point, sometimes are too expensive. When you start playing things like Withering Whale, it ends up eating into your mana in the early parts of the game in ways that other decks don't really seem to have that problem. And following this Dark Bulb Acolyte, we might see a Lulu, and then an open attack making a 4/4 a Lulu as one off. Things really looking kind of bad for Chavez Elite. I wonder what he's playing around by not playing the Lulu. That is a Genevieve Elmhart. Genevieve
Let us take a peek at life.
grant or gives every other unit +1/+1 challenger scout. She can clean up quite a bit just herself and
Wow.
makes a Daring Poro plus Mystic Shot lethal.
Wow.
So this darkness doing 3 damage, being focused now towards Genevieve.
We do see Metamorph in the hand of Chavez, but he is 2 mana short from being able to use it to stop this Poro from getting in. So we're probably going to see the Mystic Shot on face here.
Over now towards the Dark Bulb Acolyte, not what I would have expected.
Really? Oh, because he has 2 units now. So we can just pull both. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep, and it's actually it's not any better into Valfeast because Fighter would block. I think either way is fine. But yeah, this is it. And Doo is once again our champion. First it was Flock. Now I feel like it's really just kind of taking it home. What feels like week after week, at least, you know, making top 4 or so week after week. Really well played by Doo. Happy they keep on coming, and happy to see, you know, a consistently fantastic play.
Oh, LOR said he was playing around Valfeast there. Yeah, we figured it out. Yeah, he was playing around Valfeast just to make sure.
Still doesn't win to Valfeast though, because they play Valfeast, you know, on the stack, and then they have another blocker.
Oh, true. They only would have had they would have been able to block the 3/2, but then we still would have had Mystic Shot, anyways.
Right. So I think it's neutral. I think they're equivalent outcomes. I mean, but Eduard's like a top 20 gamer, so who am I to say? He's number 6.
Wait,
Eduard.
wait, what? Eduard's number 6. Wait, hold on, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
snap!
I might be incorrect in saying that it's neutral, and he might be seeing kind of deeper into the future than me.
Oh,
Which
snap!
is totally, you know, fine. But yeah, really
High
really
level
strong.
gameplay over here.
Doo crushing it yet again. So yeah, anything else you got for us today?
I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Of course, LOR coming through. He did lose his match, but he brought freaking Tom Rocca, which, I mean, he got matched up against Kindred with Aftershock, so it was a bad matchup. But it was nice to see everybody play the matches, and I had fun. LOR saying, guys, thanks for the cast. Fun as always. Catch you guys tomorrow. Appreciate that. Yes, we're gonna be here tomorrow with the Mystic Shop podcast. I don't know, what are we gonna talk about tomorrow? I'm not even sure. But I'm sure we're gonna figure out something. Me and Doey always figure out something to talk about. So you can catch us tomorrow. Both of us also have YouTubes. Doey has been trying to upload you said twice a week, right?
I'm trying to do twice a week, and so far this week's uploads have not hit yet.
Oh, okay.
But hopefully soon. Nunu says Telescope is always amazing. Was awesome. I'm really helping find lethal there. Yeah. So thank you guys for hanging out. You'll catch me tomorrow at We the People's Twitch channel for the Mystic Shop podcast. I'm excited to do it again tomorrow. We'll talk all things Legends of Runeterra.
Yep.
With that being said, I think I'm good. I think I've kind of said all I felt that needed to be said today, but I'll certainly have more for us tomorrow.
All right, bro. You gonna get some? You gonna get some Z's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
As always.
I'm freaking tired. I had to wake up super early because my son started going to daycare, so we have to wake up super early to take him to daycare now. So I'm like sleeping off myself. But who should we raid?
Not in a raiding mood, so I'll leave that to you. I'm just gonna end stream. I'm gonna go to bed. Have a fantastic night.
All right. Yep. See you tomorrow. Oh boy, I'm freaking tired, stream. I'm freaking tired. Alright, so I'm gonna rate Absolution. Sometimes he does this cool trivia. I don't know if he's doing it tonight, but I just like to watch him. He be talking about some cool LOR content, so I'm gonna rate him. Again, I appreciate everybody that stopped by today, and you guys can catch us tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna be uploading. I've been trying to upload daily content on YouTube. So if you want to check out some of my daily content, you can catch it in the links down below. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. All right, peace out.
Hey, we the peoples! Thank you for the raid, man. Thank you for the raid. Welcome to the stream. How was your stream, bro? I hope it was fucking sick. That's cringe, dude. God, I'm cringing at you so hard right now. Currently about to die to this deck because I did a funny. Now, the thing is, if he's running double atrocity, I'm probably gonna die. But if he's not, I am kind of sick with it, you know? This isn't what I wanted to see, not gonna lie to you. No, that seems bad, doesn't it? Does that seem bad? I feel like that's bad, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's go! Tournament's fun. Love tournament. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yup. Okay. So, I do in fact need this guy to fucking level up. Because if he doesn't, I am going to lose this game. He's fishing for second atrocity. I need to draw a second deny or else I'm going to die. Glimpse, please give me second deny. I'm not making the same fucking mistake as I made last time, I promise. Come on, second deny. That's not what I wanted. Okay, that's fine. That's about one of these days when you get the chance. Hey, bro, that's not cool. He's not getting fucking atrocity'd. Cam. Okay. Hold on. Numbers. Counting upwards. Now, I didn't draw super good here, but I can get 9 HP back, and that's pretty sick. Don't swing with you. I swing with stuff I know I can keep alive. Honestly, if anything... Oh, I know the exact fucking play you make. Oh, I don't have the mana for it. Fuck. Because I need to get life for V... I need to life steal, dude. Do I? No, I don't, because I can just atrocity in response to him trying to kill me. And then he gets fucked. You know what? We risk it for the biscuit, dude. We risk it for the fucking biscuit. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking going hard right now. Fuck it, bro. Fuck it. Hold on, 3. No, we're good, we're good. Okay, so what we do here is we do this. This leaves me with 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. This play is nuts. This play is absolutely fucking bonkers. Because if he doesn't, so the way this works is if he has atrocity, he now has to play it. Yep, we're good. We're pogging. As long as I have this 7 mana for this in hand, I'm always winning. At this point, especially now that I'm flipped. Always winning. We're gaming. We're gaming hard, dude. This was such a fucking comeback. Holy shit. I should have recorded this fucking game. This is nuts. This is a crazy comeback. The moment he taps under the mana for his shit, I'm good. That's still got 7 up. Yep. Yep, we're good. Doesn't even matter. I just win now. We don't even try to be cheeky. We actually just end the game.